Stolany TV, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back aboard, friends, as we get set up for Canada versus Latvia at about 2:30 this afternoon. Yes, indeed, Canada going for their second straight win at the World Juniors here in 2026. Last night, what a ball it was against Czechia. And everybody obviously has what they liked about that game, what they didn't like about that game, and then there was some stuff after the game that I don't think any of us really realized if you shut the TV off right away. So it was an interesting game against Czechia nonetheless, but for Canada today, going for maybe a little bit more toned down of a game with a little bit more, scoring result like last game, but a little less scoring result against like the game against Czechia. We'll see how it all shakes out, but obviously looking forward to it nonetheless here tonight, friends, as Canada and Latvia renew hostilities. This seems crazy, but Latvia last year, of course, shutting us down in that shootout same day, 365 days ago, they did that to us. So we're hoping for a better result here this year on December 27th. Glad to have you aboard. The game, like I said, 2:30 or thereabout on TSN here in Canada. The game will be live, so stay tuned. It'll get good soon. I'm already seeing 2 comments in the chat before we can even get going for Latvia to win. So there you have it. You know what? The Latvia fans, they were loud and proud last year, I remember. So that'll be the case again here this year, I'm sure. Czechia, we really didn't hit the Czech audience yesterday. So wondering if they were out on a different stream or whatever. But obviously it's going to be a matchup where Canada needs to score goals. That's first and foremost, because if Canada doesn't find a way to score goals, we will have a repeat of last year. Now, we scored 7 against Czechia. That's a huge, massive victory for this Team Canada squad, given the struggles we had last year. So we'll take that and hopefully parlay it into a game here today against Latvia where the results are just as good, if not better. That said, obviously, I don't think necessarily Latvia is going to be a team you're able to blow out of the water here anymore at the World Juniors like maybe years of old, but I guess we'll see how it all plays out, right? That's what it comes down to. So right now, like we know, Canada versus Latvia, but as far as we know here right now, today, in terms of the schedule, 3-0 Slovakia leads Germany at the end of 2 periods. Canada and Latvia are the 2:30 game. The States and Switzerland are the 4 p.m. game. And then Czechia versus Denmark is the 6:30 game today. Canada, of course, off tomorrow, so keep that in mind there, as well as the preliminary round goes to Switzerland and Sweden on Sunday, and then Latvia and Finland, and that's really where we sit at the end of the weekend. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I guess that would be. Yeah, Wednesday. And then all of a sudden you're up and into the quarterfinals on Friday, I believe. So that's the crazy part about this. This tournament moves fast. Things get rocking and rolling rather quickly, and that's where we find ourselves. Already 1 game down, only 3 more to go for Team Canada here. And as it currently sits, we've got, Latvia in front of us here for this one today. Latvia obviously still yet to play a game in this tournament. So that's why they've got the back-to-back tomorrow and waiting to see how their tournament turns out. For Group B, I guess to give you a standings update right now, look at it kind of overall. In Group A, Switzerland stands atop of the standings because they just straight up haven't played a game yet. And then you got United States in first place, Sweden in second, Slovakia in third, and Germany in fourth based on goal differential. So obviously that'll shake out a little bit different as Slovakia climbs up a little bit based on goal differential and a victory today against Germany if all holds according to plan here the rest of the way home in the 3rd period for them. Finland up there with 1 win, 6 goals for, 2 goals against, so they're ahead of Canada on goal differential. Czechia and Denmark, of course, in the basement of Group B, but there's only 1 game played and Latvia hasn't played yet, nor has Switzerland, so there's tons of stuff to get to still from both clubs right now as it stands for Switzerland and Latvia, and then obviously for Canada and everybody else involved to start mixing it up a little bit and getting this World Juniors underway. So with that, I say good day to you. Thank you for being aboard here, friends. Of course, if you haven't had a chance yet, make sure to vote in the poll at the top of the chat. on the live stream. I want to make sure you get that done just so as we can kind of get a feeling as to where this game's going to go. A 2:30 game for Canada, kind of a weird time, but usually once a tournament we get a weird time out of it. And obviously as well, you've got Latvia with 23% of the vote on 44 votes, and Canada with 77. So, like I said, glad to have you aboard. As we've got a bunch of fans coming in here for Latvia this year. It's good to see. Like I said, it's going to be a blast to see how this shakes out today. Obviously, Latvia's gotten better and better as the tournaments have gone on here over the past, I want to say, like 5-10 years. And Canada has started struggling against some teams historically we haven't struggled against. So today a matchup to see how it all goes. That'll be awesome, and it'll be entertaining, obviously, as well, to see Canada back in action shortly after their layover from last night. Right, there's not much of a time gap between these two games. Not even a 24-hour difference for Team Canada to get back on the ice. For Germany, it was them who were really suffering the time difference thing for game to game between game 1 and game 2, because man, they were on the ice this morning, and tough go for them, that's for sure. So that is where we find ourselves right now, waiting for this one to get underway here today. Of course, a 2:30 puck drop. If you need to know, it'll be a game in which Canada takes on Latvia. Latvia's first game of the tournament, and we'll see what Latvia can manage here. Obviously, for Canada, it was a very interesting game last night against Czechia. I guess to expand on what I was talking about there, for Czechia last night, right? They get the empty net goal scored against them. Canada kind of scores the empty net there with Porter Martone. He makes the unsportsmanlike play, tapping the player from Czechia on the way to the bench there. That upset some folks, I think, across probably Czechia and across Canada. But then Canada didn't shake hands with Czechia at the end of the game, and I guess that's set up some issues as well. So there's a little bit coming out of this Canadian team this year that's a little bit different than, I guess, the normal Canadian antics you'd hear about. So interesting to hear there from kind of the fallout that we didn't catch at the end of last game. So we'll see if any of that carries over. I doubt it. I think Canada was really focused on the upset nature of Czechia doing what they did to them over the past few years. But hopefully today Canada plays, like I said, a toned down, still goal scoring game, and gets the job done here against Latvia. That's obviously where I'm sitting as we get excited for tonight's matchup as well. The Edmonton Oilers will take on the Calgary Flames at 8 o'clock this evening right here on Dolly TV. You can tune in for that as well, friends, as it's going to be a great matchup. The Battle of Alberta always delivers, most of the time, I guess, nowadays, but definitely looking forward to it after things got a little heated between Calgary and Edmonton last game out. So hopefully, again, things carry forward and move towards a really fun game here on Hockey Night in Canada. But first, like I said, we have to get through Canada and Latvia tonight. And that's obviously where we find ourselves with about 45 to 50 minutes to go until puck drop between Canada and Latvia. We're just gearing up for what will be a really fun hockey game today. I guess if you've got any score predictions or anything at this time, drop it in the chat right now. Let me know what you're thinking when it comes to this Canada-Latvia game. I think if you're a Latvian fan, you're probably thinking it's going to be rather close, probably. I mean, 4-2 for Latvia or something like that. Whereas if you're Canada, you're probably thinking and hoping it's going to be a multi-goal differential, probably 3, 4, 5 plus goals between Canada and Latvia tonight by the end of it. So let me know in the comments section or the chat or whatever you want to call it as we get closer to today's action. Obviously, it's been a day for Oilers news as well. I know we had David Tomashik there be announced as having his contract terminated yesterday. And as well, what we know is for the Oilers, Connor Ingram will get his third straight start for the Edmonton Oilers. Already 2-0. We'll see if he can get the job done here against the Calgary Flames for a second night in a row. As I don't know, is there anything else we need to know here? I think we are good as, yeah, Quinn Hudson as well for the Oilers gets back to action with the Bakersfield Condors after his little dealio with the NHL club here over the past few, well, weeks, I guess. So, other than that, I don't know what else there is to add to this one, friends. I think Canada-Latvia, like I said, it's a Group B matchup in which we really need a result here today against Latvia as well. Keep the momentum going, kind of exercise the ghosts from last year a little bit. Slovakia currently up 3-0 over top of Germany. And like I said, USA, Switzerland at 4 p.m. Czechia at Denmark at 6:30. So it'll be a little bit of a busy schedule once Canada gets going here today for World Juniors action in Minnesota. A 2:30 game. And of course, for Canada, I guess to say, you hope that Zane Parekh keeps rolling like he has. Zane Parekh looked really, really good offensively in game one, and I don't care about his defense. Really, Zane Parex's got to look great offensively, I think. And obviously for Flames fans, they're looking for that as well. And then when you go to look at it from another perspective as well, I'd say there's something to be said for, Gavin McKenna not having a bad game, really going out there and being a difference maker against Czechia. And then as well, the top line and the second line really doing the job against Czechia, right? Like both lines rolling the entire game, setting each other up, knocking down the opponent after the other had been out there. And it was really awesome to see that, Gavin McKenna's on that second line for Canada, and Canada's got a top line that's actually really going out there and doing damage the whole way through the game. So that was awesome to see from an Oilers and Canadian fan perspective, because hopefully it's just the start of a trend of a lot of fun hockey we're going to watch here over the next few months. The Olympics, the World Juniors, the Oilers in the playoffs, all of it. So, friends, I'm going to take a quick break to refill the water bottle. I forgot to do that here this morning, so I'll be right back, and we'll get this going here in a matter of moments. Stay tuned. If you haven't already had a chance to hit that subscribe button on the channel, make sure to do as such. I'll be right back here in a moment. All right, with the tea and water in hand, friends, let's do this. 2 o'clock on the bell, or at least now 2:01, my pardon, as I took a few minutes extra, but I'm looking forward to getting things going here tonight. Sue, Art, welcome aboard as Canada takes on Latvia this afternoon in action at the 2026 World Juniors. Glad to have you stop by Dolly TV. It was a fun time last night against Czechia, and looking forward to much of the same here today against Latvia. Latvia obviously looking for a really good performance after beating Canada in the shootout last year. Well, exactly a year to the day, by the way. So Latvia, they had themselves one heck of a hockey game, and unfortunately for Canada, Canada was on the losing end of it. So today, we'll see how it all shakes out as things roll on towards Game 2 of the group stage for Canada at these World Juniors. Like I said, we're hoping that the World Juniors set the stage for what will be a magical 2026 for us Oilers fans, but specifically as well Canadian fans, as the Olympics and of course the NHL playoffs hold weight in 2026 for these guys that I call friends, the Edmonton Oilers fans, and of course us good Canadians here. So let's get to it, friends. We got a few moments of time before this game gets underway, about 28 to 29 minutes before puck drop. Today, Canada-Latvia, the pregame show hitting TSN right now. Of course, I would love to show you the game. It is copyright material of the IIHF and TSN, so unfortunately that is not what I am able to do for you, but either way, we'll get the World Juniors coverage to you one way or another here today here on the channel, as I'll have your play-by-play for you, as it is going to be one heck of a night to see what Canada can do here against Latvia. Hopefully exercise the ghost like they did against the Czech side there yesterday. That was a big game there, and obviously a little bit of fallout from that as well. If you missed, Team Canada didn't shake hands, and of course the Porter Martone incident as well. So friends, if you haven't already left a like on the stream, make sure to do that. We are officially on the countdown towards game time. It looks like a 2:41 puck drop between Canada and Latvia today. So stay tuned. We're in it for the long haul. Definitely, like I said earlier, if you haven't already voted on the poll, there's now up to 85 votes on there. I'd like to see that get probably before we get to game time around 250, 300. Right now, 84% of you are voting for Canada. The other 16% obviously Latvia. If you haven't dropped a score prediction in the chat yet, I'd highly encourage that as well. Don't be shy. The chat's easygoing place. Make sure nothing gets too crazy in there. And definitely would love to hear from you as to what you think this game is going to be for Team Canada this evening, as there's a whole bunch of incidents here that they're talking about for Canada following the game last night, as Canada kind of crossed across the center ice line throughout the warm-up a few times. As, Porter Martone obviously taking some heat as well following his performance in the game against Czechia last night, and then Canada skated off without shaking hands against Czechia as well. So really not sure what was going on there and what the thought process was. Canada says they have apologized for it, but still an interesting going and an unsportsmanlike really showing from Canada that we're not traditionally used to on our side of things. So so today we'll see if Canada's a little bit more friendly with Latvia today, and obviously maybe a little bit of hatred and heat between Canada and Czechia led to the events yesterday. Not really excusing them, but obviously making a reason for why they might have happened. As today, well, Canada, Latvia, 2:40 puck drop. Friends, welcome aboard Dolly TV. Glad to have you. As we get going on what we need to know for the game, obviously just a really big game for Team Canada to keep things rolling. Looks like Jack Ivankovic, sorry, finally learned how to say his name and I still can't say it right, will get the start for Team Canada here in this one at the World Juniors. Of course, with Carter George starting less than 24 hours ago, it makes sense that Jack Ivankovic will get the start for Team Canada. Lots of fans along the tunnel here, letting everybody have the high fives as they come down the tunnel. And now here we have it. Team Canada on the ice, ready to rock and roll for today's warm-up, as this one will be an interesting game just simply because we know what happened last year And for Canada, like, hey, you know what? I'll take it. Last year was an absolute blast to broadcast. One of the best live streams I've ever had on the channel. But man, oh man, that finish was ultra disappointing. I will tell you that for sure. So today, just hoping, wishing Canada gets the job done here against Latvia in rather convincing fashion. And that's no hard, no foul against our Latvian friends. It's just I really don't want to have to suffer through that for a second straight year. Latvia got the better of us last year. Let's get the better of them this year here at this year's World Juniors. It's December 27th already, and I actually had to blink and look at the clock a few times today when I woke up, realizing it's still only Saturday, friends. I don't know where you're at with the old holidays so far, but the fact that it is only Saturday and I still got a whole nother day to do something with, and that's good news for me, I guess. Try not to get myself into trouble on what is an off day for Team Canada at the World Juniors tomorrow. Art 7-2 Canada. That's where I'm kind of feeling, right? I'm kind of feeling Canada's got an offensive explosion in them. I think they'll be better than they were defensively last game, and I think that'll lead to Canada hopefully having a performance that sets up a big goal differential cushion for them, and allows us as well at the same rate to get set up for the rest of the tournament. Feeling good, scoring 7 goals back-to-back games, and really getting ready for what should be a really good hockey game here today against Latvia, and then the rest of the tournament obviously as well. So we are rolling along here on the pregame show, friends. Thank you for hanging out. As Ravi's, sorry, hold on, I'm trying to read that all together. As Ravis, sorry, you'll have to tell me how to pronounce that. Coming in with a 4-2 Latvia win. And of course, we're going to have some Latvia fans in here today. That's what I know about Latvia. They show out for their boys here on the YouTube live streams. So that's exciting. That'll be great to see. We didn't have too many Czech fans last night. Only like 2 or 3 Czech flags in the chat overall. So tonight should be the night that we have some Latvia fans come out. And obviously for only the second World Juniors stream of the game tournament so far, I guess that'll be about due time at this point, hey? So that is where we find ourselves, Canada, Latvia. I want to take a quick check on Slovakia and Germany, who are now 3-0 Slovakia in the 15-minute mark of the third period. All right, coming with the 7-2 victory for Canada as well. That checks, right? See, that's where I'm seeing. I'm thinking 7-2. I think it's going to be a popular answer today, as it seems like a more traditional score for Canada against Latvia, and it feels like a more comfortable victory than, a 4-3 in overtime or something like that against the Latvians here today, as Canada shuffling out pucks out of the net here. 31 minutes and a half to go until puck drop between Canada and Latvia here tonight. Friends, again, what I do want to encourage you to do is hit that subscribe button. Yesterday we went from about 1,800 subscribers, went up about 189, in fact, sitting on, 18,690 this morning. So closing in on 20,000. That's kind of the goal by the end of somewhere between January and February. See how the Olympics go, I guess. But definitely would appreciate your support, and hitting the subscribe button. Easy and free to do, and obviously gets you the live streams that much quicker. And as well, it gets you the notification for the Battle of Alberta tonight, the Oilers versus the Calgary Flames. I know Art's looking forward to that one. I can almost guarantee that with full certainty here, as Canada versus Latvia is our afternoon game. And then, well, we're back to the NHL for a little burst of action between Calgary and Edmonton, the nightcap on Hockey Night in Canada. I'm looking forward to it. I will tell you, one of the interesting things is I did a short about 3 years ago here on YouTube titled That Hockey Night in Canada Feeling. It was just basically me dicing up some food in the kitchen, sitting down, turning on the TV, and then Hockey Night in Canada intro playing. Well, I will tell you, it has been probably one of the most consistent shorts on a Saturday in the past 3 years I've ever had. So excited to see that pop up in my feed again today as we get things rolling towards puck drop. Like I said, we're now inside the last 30 minutes to go before things kick off here tonight. For Team Canada, you got to come up with a result here, I think, against Latvia. 1 point won't cut it, but yeah, hopefully you got to get the victory and really get the job done here as well. The Oilers winning 3-2. I'm hoping again, you know what, if Canada wins 7-2, I'd love to see the Oilers win 7-2. That would make the live stream that much easier. It's a lot more fun on those Oilers live streams when they're scoring a bunch of goals and not giving up a bunch of goals. So Zane Parekh, to talk about the Calgary Flames, friends, if you're tuning in as a Flames fan here tonight, maybe I'll give you a few seconds to talk about Zane Parekh, who is absolutely sparkling offensively for Team Canada when needed last night. 2 big goals, and I really, truly, I know how much I talk about Dustin Wolf and what I think he'll do for the future of the Calgary Flames. Zane Parekh, I tell you, his future is massive for the Calgary Flames as well. It is going to be insane if his trajectory, where he's been already in his junior career, what he's doing here at the World Juniors 1 game in, if he can start doing that over the next 2-3 years for the Calgary Flames, it is going to be unreal to watch the Flames play some hockey here once they get into the new building. Oh, by the way, does anyone remember a year before the Oilers got their new building, they got this draft pick that allowed them to draft somebody generational that really lights up the league still to this day? And the Flames are kind of in this position where they might have a shot to do that. And, they're getting this new building in about a year. Yeah, weird. Is it just me, or am I just saying? I get it. But, yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now as we get closer to puck drop here tonight. Obviously, Ivan Kovic will get the start. I gotta keep reminding myself it's not the way I would pronounced it last year. He gets the start for Team Canada here tonight against Latvia. Obviously for him, a big start for, some redemption against Latvia. He had the 1 game against Latvia last year, and it was kind of a disaster class for Canada as a whole. Obviously, the Latvian goaltender, I think I was just laughing every time he made a save by the end of the game, how unreal and out of this world he was. And Latvian goaltending since, the 2014 Olympics has been one of the biggest stories at international tournaments. And, well, it was a big story last year. And now the question is, will it be a big story here this year? That is what we'll see happen as the game goes on. Is Latvian goaltending tested by the Canadian offense that scored 7 against Czechia. And Canada labeled some absolute beauty shots on that Czech goaltender last night, Orsuluk. And, there might be a few he'd want back, but for Canada, there was not much that they didn't do that wasn't almost perfect on goals they scored last night. So, absolutely unreal to see that Canada scored 7 at this tournament for the first time in what feels like a little while. And now tonight, can he score 7 again? As Ethan McKenzie also scored for Canada from the back end. Ethan McKenzie, an undrafted Edmonton Oil Kings player right now. He'll be looking to go in the top 2 rounds of the draft this year at the NHL entry draft. Obviously for him, a guy that'll be able to step up into an NHL lineup almost immediately given the right situation, and I think that's where you'll see there's a little bit of jostling, a little bit of jockey in position to try and pick McKenzie come NHL draft time. Just my feeling, not necessarily anything educated. But as well for the Edmonton Oilers tonight, it is Connor Ingram starting, so that's another storyline to follow, friends, as we wait for more words out of Oilers practice today. Connor Ingram will start the game for the Oilers against the Flames. Connor Ingram has been solid so far. He's 2-0 with a .920 save percentage and 2.00 goals against average. He's been solid, but also the Oilers haven't given up too many good looks. That's what Jason Gregor kind of cautions for us here tonight, is that the Oilers really have to avoid going out there and collapsing defensively for the first time in a little while. And you see here there's a couple of changes to how the defense is set up. Cameron Reid alongside Zane Parekh, Ethan McKenzie alongside Harrison Brunick, and of course Kashan Aitchison on the third pair. So things kind of change around a little bit there for the Team Canada defense, which I think is really the only area of improvement you can have over last game, is the fact that Team Canada's defense was a little suspect at times. So tonight, hopefully a little bit better of a result as we get going against Latvia here in about 25 minutes time. Ooh, hiccups hitting hard. But again, now as I see we've crept up over 115 of you along for the live stream tonight. If you haven't already left a like on the stream, make sure to do that, especially if you're hoping Canada wins tonight. Just liking the stream allows everybody to find it that much easier. And as well, if you haven't already voted on the poll, what I will tell you, 81% of you are believing Canada's going to win this game. Latvia's got 19% of the votes, so if you haven't already, make sure to vote on that. Let me know what your thoughts are, and then we'll go from there as this one keeps going along here today on the live stream. So yesterday, I want to say a huge shout out to everybody that tuned in yesterday. Yesterday was probably one of the best days of the year here on Dolly TV so far. Appreciate everybody hanging out, coming by, and spending a little bit of time on the live stream, as it was a really fun time to just be back live covering the World Juniors for the first time. Like, it's been pretty much a year, and obviously as well, Canada winning the game, that had a lot to do with it. Sweden, Slovakia being the game that it was yesterday was a lot to do with it as well. And now we kind of look forward to, again, trying to have a big day here tonight, and hopefully for the Oilers as well once we get to that at 8 o'clock. If you haven't already, like I said as well, hit that subscribe button for, World Juniors updates, Edmonton Oilers news, Oilers live streams, all the things that you could possibly want out of Oilers coverage. I pretty much got it here. We're about to close in on 18,700 subscribers. So friends, getting within that 1,300 mark of 20,000. So hopefully that's the case by the end of the live stream here, as I do appreciate everybody hitting that subscribe button. Like I said, it just gets you access to the live streams that much easier, and as well keeps you up to date with the Edmonton Oilers as the season goes on. And whatever else, Toronto Blue Jays, if you're a Blue Jays fan, we talk a little Blue Jays in the YouTube shorts once in a while, usually once a week. Right now, anywhere as it stands, just about have to start the new live stream, or not new live stream, new playlist, sorry, for the Toronto Blue Jays coverage, actually, as we had one live stream last year during the playoffs there against Seattle, and that was a ton of fun, as well as we've got Jack Ivankovic talking about kind of doing some dynamic work, some drills in the crease there for Canada, as we are getting, like I said, closer to puck drop here. About 22 minutes to go, and we should see how this shakes out here tonight. We got another Latvian supporter in the chat. Good day to you, my friend. As Liam Greentree looking over on the Latvian side of things. I don't know what he's quite doing out there, but Canada has had some weird stare downs at center ice here so far at this tournament. Kind of maybe being an unlikable team. I don't know. Maybe that's what Team Canada is going for. A little bit of hatred towards them. A little fuel their game. I don't know necessarily if that's a great idea, especially on American soil. But I guess as long as you don't have to play the Americans, it might be fine. Because there's one team in the tournament that would take that very personally, and that's the USA. And that's kind of the case here, as you know, Canada and USA, very storied history. So what do we got here? We got Brad Marchand, Connor McDavid, Macklin Celebrini wearing number 17, Jeff O'Neill from 1995 wearing that one. Who is the most impactful of Canada's number 17s? Well, Brad Marchand, who's having himself a 41-point season at the NHL level this year, by the way. I don't know if anyone's been paying attention to anything the Florida Panthers have done this year, but Brad Marchand's having himself one heck of a year, and he's looking to try and keep that going here the rest of the way into the playoffs with his new team, the Florida Panthers. He was obviously an impact player against the Oilers in the Cup Finals. We know that all too well, pretty much putting the Oilers to bed there, scoring that overtime winner. Was that game 2 or game 3? I don't even remember. It was all turnaround, topsy-turvy, backwards in my mind. But yeah, it was quite the couple of, I guess, really months there for the Edmonton Oilers back during the playoffs. So you guys get ready for their first home game. So the new Canucks players will debut at home for the first time here tonight. And I think, well, what you're going to see out of Calgary Flames tonight, I think Justin Kirkland's in the lineup for the Flames, and I think as well there was somebody else. I think the Battle of Florida gets Scott Sabrin involved tonight, so there's going to be some fireworks across the NHL, I think, this evening, to be honest with you. So just wish we had Connor Clattenburg in the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers, because you know how much he would thrive in a Battle of Alberta situation. So friends, again, thank you for being aboard for the ride here. Like I said, TSN doesn't really give you much in terms of game preview information on the website, so we're just kind of going through the pregame, skirting around, trying to get to where we're going in the next 20 minutes or so. For Team Canada today against Latvia, you need a result. That's the big key here, is to talk about the game a little bit. You saw how things went last night for Canada, a little bit shaky on defense, a lot of goal scoring. So what you need to do is fix up the defense, and you need to keep the goal scoring going. Even Kovac in net for Canada, I think he'll do exactly what he probably did last year against the Latvian squad. So for him, hopefully tonight, a good result as well. Brennan, welcome into the live stream as we get more and more folks tuning in here. Looks like the chat's coming a little bit more alive by the minute here, so that's good to see. As we're also jumped up another 30 votes on the poll here, and it remains split exactly like it did 30 votes ago. 81% Canada, 19% Latvia in favor of who wins this hockey game today. Like I said, if you haven't already voted in that, make sure to do that as well. I like to get that as a good measure to reference throughout the game, especially if the leads start changing and stuff as the game keeps going on. As we're seeing the highlights of Matejko there scoring the clutch goal that ended Canada's dreams of winning that game last year at the World Juniors, and really just signaled what was going to be a disaster class year, a 5th place finish for Team Canada after being ousted in the quarterfinals by Czechia. But as we keep rolling along here, we are, like I said, just about 15 to 18 minutes away from puck drop this evening against Latvia. Latvia, I guess this afternoon. I don't know, these afternoon games screw guys' mind up right good. If you've ever seen me broadcast an Oilers game at 11 in the morning, you have no clue how many times I tell you morning, afternoon, night, midnight, next day, whatever the heck. I'm all discombobulated during those games. And obviously not even knowing what day of the week it is right now. Very discombobulated, to be honest with you. So we'll see if I can survive another live stream here tonight as Canada takes on Latvia. Again, friends, I don't know if there's really anything much to cover here other than maybe this. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, simply because if you've been following along and haven't heard me advertise it yet here on the stream, I know that we go through about 50 to 60 new viewers a minute here. I'm just saying, make sure to come back for the Oilers versus the Calgary Flames tonight. So Canada-Latvia here in the next 20 minutes. And then the Oilers will take on the Calgary Flames, Battle of Alberta at 8 p.m. I'm telling you, it promises to be a really good game. It's either going to be an absolute madhouse of a game at the Scotiabank Saddledome, or it's going to be an absolute disaster in terms of nobody has any emotion, nobody cares to be out there post turkey dinner on Christmas Day. So stay tuned, we'll see how it happens, but I'm expecting something good out of Team Canada and Latvia today, which will set up something really good out of the Oilers and Flames this evening. That's at least the hope. That's where I'm putting my faith in today, and we'll see how it goes. As we've got Connor Ingram starting for the Oilers today, as that's the big attack for the Oilers, is really getting 4 goaltenders now into the mix this season, right? We haven't had different goaltenders, I feel like, for a long while. There are backups, changes like Ollie Rodrigue for a little bit, and then of course as well you had Matt Berlin, the emergency backup that got put into the game for the fun of it at the end of a runaway for the Edmonton Oilers. So the Oilers have been pretty consistent with Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard. Now Skinner, a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and not really having a good go over there. And then as well, you go to a situation where you've got Pickard still around. You've got Connor Ingram mixed into the works now, and the guy that returned from Skinner, which is, of course, Tristan Jarry. So last few years, to Canada in 2010, 10-goal lead, 17, 8-goal, and then 2024 was a 10-0 victory, 3-goal victory in 2022, and then a loss by a goal in the shootout, 3-2 to Latvia. So I guess, Blood, that'll be the question for you. Is it a hard matchup for Latvia, or are they well positioned for a good hockey game today against a Canadian squad that has, over the past several tournaments here, had some different results against Latvia? hopefully today a good result for Canada against Latvia. That would be much, much welcome. As you see a flashback to last year's shootout and just an absolute unreal tournament from Feldbergs in net for Latvia, and he obviously was stymieing Canada at every turn in that game. And I mean, I look back to that December 27th game. I remember just being so excited. The live stream was going so well. Things were buzzing. It was exciting. It was awesome. But it was just kind of a tough, deflating finish when Canada doesn't finish it off and win that game. So hopefully this year, better result here in this one and we get the job done. So see how that lets itself happen here today as both teams go at it in about 14 minutes time here on Dolany TV. So friends, thank you again for being aboard. I honestly can't say thank you enough for tuning in to the live streams. It's just absolutely fantastic that anyone even bothers to show up to these old things. So when you've been doing something for as many years as I have, it feels crazy that people continue to show up. So just grateful for that. And obviously it's the Christmas season, so I'm going to show some gratitude as well in there and spread a little bit of cheer and positivity as we roll along here on live stream. Friends, I'm going to quickly take one last TV timeout, go upstairs, get a bathroom break in, and be right back with you. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, like I said, I'm going to hammer that a lot here during this tournament. Make sure to do it. All right, well, we got just about 10 minutes to puck drop here, friends. Thank you if you've hit that subscribe button while I ran upstairs to use the washroom. Scott's going 7-2 for Canada today. Of course, 7-2 for Canada seeming to be the popular answer here on the live stream so far today. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Canada, Latvia just shortly after 2:30 as we're up over 18,700 now. So thank you for that as we continue on the trend of growing the old subscriber base here as the Oilers and World Juniors and maybe the Olympics and all the things start combining together for what will be a crazy 2026. Seems insane to say that. Started this YouTube journey covering sports specifically back in 2018. So to be doing it in the year 2026, that seems like a mind bender to me. But nonetheless, we're about set to do it. So we are rolling along on the pregame here. Canada versus Latvia. Jack Ivankovic will get the start for Team Canada after obviously the disappointment last year against Latvia. It was a tough go. I can talk about that live stream all I want because it's just one of those great memories where it was an absolute blast. Feldbergs was unreal for Latvia, and then, well, it just didn't end up going our way at all, did it? As Team Canada couldn't get the job done against Latvia and ultimately ended up losing the game 3-2 in a shootout. So now tonight we got to see the thing happen in a positive manner here for Team Canada. As there we have it, old Gillis TV, friends. If you haven't already had a chance to go check out Gillis TV lately, been posting a lot of shorts and just apparently got another one up. Just got the text message saying there's a short posted on Gillis TV as he comes in here chirping about the squirrel suit. The squirrel suit might have to come out if Team Canada loses this one in a shootout to Latvia for the second year in a row on the same day. That would be quite something, but I think we'll be okay. For those of you that don't know, Friends, you have to comb through. I don't even know which loss it was this year and which loss it was all those years ago for the Oilers, but if you've never tuned in during really bad things here on Dolly TV, I've got this little friend here. He made an appearance at the end of Game 7 in 2024. A little squirrel suit helmet here. Sometimes wear the squirrel suit, but no one to do it when the Oilers aren't going so good. So if Team Canada loses to Latvia again today, we'll wear the squirrel suit at the end of the game and we'll wrap up the game. How about that? That's a promise I can make to you right there. That's one of those we can do for sure. So let's get this rolling towards what will be a fun hockey game here tonight. Hopefully for Canada, a victory, as that would be fantastic if they could pull that off. And we'll see how things shake out, as obviously it's going to be a big question of, can Canada avoid the upset 2 years in a row? And Ochi there, unfortunately that's not my my version of the Latvia flag. You would see what I've got for a Latvia flag file on the thumbnail of the live stream. This is actually off of the TSN website directly, so I don't know where they grabbed their Latvia flag from, but I know that ain't correct looking at it. And yeah, sorry if that is a problem, but yeah, unfortunately there's nothing I can really do about that here on the channel here today. So for Canada, getting ready for the game against Latvia. We're about 8 minutes away from puck drop here today as Canada gets set to take on an opponent which beat them last year at the World Juniors 3-2 in that shootout. That I have to keep reminding us of, because that is why we're looking so desperately for a result here today against Latvia, is because we need to get something going here today to keep the momentum rolling for Canada. Obviously, you know, right now you're sitting at a situation where you're 1-0 in the group stage. You just have to now get to 2-0. And as Scott said, nothing against Latvia, but we have to win today. He said we will win, but I'm saying we have to win simply because it is absolutely necessary for us to get the job done here today after beating Czechia. Again, it would have been necessary nonetheless if we would have lost to Czechia, but still, just as important here today now to get this job done against the Latvian squad. So James Duthie, Cheryl Pounder, Frankie Corrado, and Jeff O'Neill take us through the final little bit of this prep before the hockey game. We've got about 7 minutes to go before Canada drops the puck against Latvia this evening. Friends, if you haven't already had a chance to vote in the poll here on the live stream, make sure to do that here today. 77% of you are going for Canada, 23% for Latvia. That is a 4% difference or change from earlier on, so we're at 198. Love to see that get up over about 250 before puck is dropped in 6 minutes, so it's at the top of the chat. Make sure to do that. And as well, if you haven't already left a like on the stream as well, make sure to do that here today. Would love for you to do that for me, as it just helps folks find the live stream, especially considering it's hard to find a real live stream of the World Juniors. So this, at least at worst, the play-by-play gives you something to keep up with these juniors kids with. So Team Canada, the goal scoring prowess yesterday was absolutely awesome to see, especially after last year, which was a real struggle. So this year for Team Canada, if they can go out there and score a ton of goals here in this tournament overall, but again, keep it going after doing it game 1 against Czechia, here today against Latvia, that would be absolutely awesome. So hopefully for Canada, you know, guys like Michael Hayes, Gavin McKenna, you know, Tej Ginla, Porter Martone, Michael Misa, trying to think, Brady Martin, the top 6 scorers are going to be really impactful. Zane Perek, another very important piece for the back end for Canada. And I would love to see what Ethan McKenzie follows up game 1 with, because obviously being that he's an Edmonton Oil Kings prospect or product, it would be interesting to see just his development as this tournament carries on. Mr. Doom, welcome in. And Scott as well, as we keep things rolling here towards puck drop in about 5 minutes time. It's going to be an exciting hockey game. I think we know that after last year's loss against Latvia, that you can't take them lightly, and hopefully the Team Canada squad puts gas to pedal and gets the job done here against Latvia rather convincingly this afternoon. Jack Ivankovic is the starting goaltender for Team Canada today, so he will handle the tasks of trying to stop the Latvian attack increase for the Edmonton Oilers. Old habits die hard. for the Team Canada here tonight, and then that'll ultimately, you know what, that leads us to hopefully a victory for Canada and into a game against the Calgary Flames later tonight for the Edmonton Oilers, as the Oilers look to take on the Flames and beat them for the second game in a row. Man, oh man, what the Oilers would do if they won this game tonight against the Flames. But first, we got to take care of business here, as Team Canada has to take care of business against Team Latvia here at the World Juniors. A very important game here for both teams. Obviously, Latvia starting their tournament right now, so getting a win and defeating Canada in Game 1 would be an absolute turn of events. That said, Canada lost last year, so hopefully looking not to do that again here this year against Latvia, as they'll go get ready to go down the tunnel. We are 3 minutes and change away from puck drop in this one tonight, friends. Thank you so much for being aboard. Appreciate you hanging out here on the channel again. If you haven't had a chance yet to hit that subscribe button, stay tuned here on Dolmany TV. Tonight we'll have the Oilers and the Calgary Flames. That might not interest everybody, but I will tell you there's enough here on the channel to interest any Canadian sports fan at any given time, considering we got a little bit of Blue Jays coverage mixed in here as well. So we're rolling towards, as Team Canada walks down the tunnel towards getting this game going here for what will be an exciting matchup between Canada and Latvia. Obviously not traditionally an exciting matchup, but today and last year it was. So today we'll look forward to it being the exact same situation here. 1 avenged losses to Czechia, 2 avenged loss to Latvia, and then 3 is beat Finland. Again, that's the Group B checklist for Team Canada here at this year's World Juniors. And if Team Canada can pull it off, man, oh man, it's going to be one heck of a winter holiday, that's for sure. Obviously, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. This is my first time chatting with you since the big day, and obviously every other holiday that's going on around the same time of year, hopefully that was good for you if that's what you're celebrating, as we get closer and closer to puck drop here between Canada and Latvia. We've got one last TV timeout here, and then we'll get things rolling between Canada and Latvia this evening, as they're just showcasing the 3M Ice Center here, the home of the University of Minnesota Hockey Club. As I just want to take a quick moment to see how we're looking and respond to that text message here, as we are looking like we're on track for what should be an absolutely fun live stream here tonight. Appreciate everybody, like I said, hanging out on the broadcast so far today, as it's been a pretty easy pregame to get through. Just not a whole lot to really discuss with Team Canada, unfortunately. So last night was a fun victory for Canada. I think that was the big part. It was a fun, good victory. There's some maybe some controversy, which not necessarily the worst thing for Canada overall. And as well, I think it really set the tone and attitude that this Team Canada is going to come in here with. They are here to crush some dreams and get the job done against some tough competition. And I think what you saw against Czechia was exactly the first little bit of that today. Like TSN saying, the checklist dictates that you've got to continue that against Latvia. And that's where Team Canada is looking to hopefully keep rolling over here in this tournament, game after game, with victory after victory, as we roll on the broadcast here, friends, to game time between Canada and Latvia. Latvia leaves their goaltender here, and we'll see how this shakes out. Minneapolis, Minnesota, the 3M Arena at Maricucci, as Marusi, I don't even know how to say that, as this will be an opportunity for us to meet the officials, Martin Jobagi, Richard Magnuson, Albert Ankerst Jern, and Rasmus Sandberg, as this is the opportunity for these officials to referee Canada versus Latvia. And now Jack Ivankovic will get the start for Team Canada, Mississauga, Ontario product. And in net for Latvia, the 6'4", 176-pound Niels Morens will get the start for the Latvian side. Dale Hunter, the head coach for Team Canada. We're just about set and up and ready to do this thing as the head coach for Latvia. That doesn't change year to year. Artis Abels stays the head coach for Latvia once again. He'll put his water bottle up on the bench there. And here we go. Puck down at center ice as the referee just about to kickstart this hockey game. Baudouin will get the start alongside Denoyer and Sam O'Reilly for Team Canada, and they're able to win the face-off back. Here's McKenzie. He'll fire it in from center. Far side rim around the boards. They are going to rule it icing against McKenzie. He was just that much shy. Normally in the NHL, they'll give that to you, but it looks like at the World Junior level, they will punish you for it. So 6 seconds gone in this first period. Team Canada faces an icing call inside their own zone. Just like that, as Canada and Latvia looking forward to a good matchup here. And obviously just off the start here, one face-off in, as we'll have the face-off here inside the Canadian zone. Sam O'Reilly wins it back to McKenzie again. McKenzie will wheel and deal up through the middle as O'Reilly, through contact, able to get past the defender. It's Denoyer dropping it into the Latvian zone along the boards. Canada gets the missed pass from Latvia to Latvia. And this will be along the end wall as Baudouin now with the puck for Canada, looking to work this one free as Sam O'Reilly. Baudouin still doing some work there as Latvia very aggressive, very physical on the boards here, keeping Canada hammered along the wall. As this McKenzie gathering it up at the blue line. Canada still trying to make this play as Denoyer will come away with the puck, skate off of the Latvian defender down the near side wing. Canada still trying to get this one going as Bruno can't get that one free, and this swap by Canada will be tipped out into neutral ice territory, and Latvia at long last will clear down length of the ice into the Canadian zone. Aitchison and Danford, the third pairing today for Canada, as that's a turnover right in front as the shot out in front for Latvia turned aside by Ivan Kovic. The dump in for Latvia successful, at least getting a shot on net, and now Canada punishing the Latvians along the boards just like they did a few moments ago as Tija Ginla trying to get across the blue line. Surprisingly, Canada not offside there as this one will be fired back down into Canadian territory. Ivan Kovic leaves it there for Reed. Reed will let on to Perek. Perek with the opportunity to get up the ice in a hurry as Ginla across the ice for Misa. And that puck doesn't connect as this will bounce back all the way into Canada's end. Perek worked off the puck there by Latvia. The shot loads up, goes up straight in the air, and then a high stick tips it out of play for Canada, well, out of the crease at least, and then Latvia gets another opportunity. So I thought that puck was out of play, but it wasn't. As this one goes front of the net by Latvia, they can't get anything going there, and Canada lifts out. And this Latvian team starts the game with 3 straight shots on net. Interesting to see that one start the way it has so far, as hopefully this one gets going from behind the net for Latvia as they get to the near side. Big shot there by Aitchison as he drills the man along the wall. Martin will go around to the far side, picking it up now. Canada exiting their own zone to the middle of the ice. This will be tipped up over the blue line and offside for Martin as he carried in. So we will have a face-off just outside of the Latvian end here in this one. So here you have it. Big-time opportunity for Latvia to get the game started, and a couple of big saves from Ivan Kovic as Brunic with the big turnover behind his own net. A disaster class, but that's what the World Juniors are, usually at the defending level. As this one showing the highlights, that stick knocking the puck down in the crease. Puck coming back now near side. Shot fired in by Latvia off the face-off as Latvia will go to the far side boards and try to get things rolling around inside the Canadian zone. This one, Danford trying to pick it up. Ultimately picked up by Hayes. Hayes now over near side for McKenna. This second line was cooking in the first 2 periods play against Czechia, and then everybody else started taking over in that third period, it felt like, as Danford in behind his own net. 3-0 the shots on goal for Latvia. They have controlled much of the first 3 minutes of this hockey game thus far, as Canada in behind their own net will lead up for Gavin McKenna to take the puck out and rush up the ice. McKenna in a full head of steam, looking for a passing opportunity back to the blue line, skating with it. Perek towards the back side of the net, couldn't find Hayes as he was trying to tap that one home. Sorry, that's Brady Martin, who then delivers a massive hit against the Latvian side, 2 of them in a row, and he'll go for 3. Chooses the better of it there this time, though, as man, oh man, Canada is throwing the body, and so too is Latvia. It is a heavy hitting contest, similar to Slovakia versus Sweden earlier on. Canada has taken a penalty here due to the aggressive nature of their hits, probably. A little bit of a hold or a rough there, something, and now we'll go down in behind the Latvian net with the extra attacker on the ice for Latvia. 3-0 the shots on goal. I mean, if you would have told me that's what it was going to be like for Latvia right out of the gates, I wouldn't have believed you. As Latvia towards the middle of the ice, cut off there by Carols. Canada quickly touches up. And with 15:50 to go here in this first period of play, Canada will go to the penalty box. It looks like Jetluchenko will be the guilty party on this one. As he just kind of went in there and maybe hauled down his man with a bear hug a little bit too much for the referee's liking, as Gavin McKenna loading up Zane Perek, and then Perek looking backdoor for Brady Martin. Almost had the tap in. Would have been absolutely unreal if he got that one to start the game, but unfortunately for Perek it didn't happen. So holding is the call for Jetluchenko here. 2 shots on goal now credited to Latvia, so that makes more sense. They've kind of clamped it down a little bit. The shot fired by Latvia, block, a wholesale sellout there for Sam O'Reilly, I think, as he's going to go off for a line change immediately. That one stung him, and with good measure, as here's Latvia starting up the ice. They're going to fire the puck in near side, inside the Canadian territory, along to the far side boards. The one-timer from the near side almost had the tip in at the side of the net, as Latvia continues to look dangerous to start this hockey game. Back to the blue line. Shot to the far side from Latvia. Save made by Ivan Kovic. And there is officially the third shot of the game now for Latvia as they continue to roll things up on the power play. As Latvia having themselves a good start to this hockey game. And Miss Saga for Jack Ivankovic. He's playing for the University of Michigan, I believe. And there's Jack Ivankovic's family in the stands. Got a little bit of that Team Canada family swag, little badge tag thing on, hanging over the neck. And as a $1:25 to go here in this first period power play. 3 shots on goal for Latvia, as Canada just can't stay on their feet for that penalty kill inside the Latvian zone. Turning the puck over was Reshny. Reshny out there chasing around. A $1:10 to go in this power play for Latvia. Less than 15 minutes remaining here in the first period of play. Latvia, the shot on net. Ivan Kovic, the save, and he will cover that one up rather quickly with 1:01 remaining on the power play for Latvia. Man, oh man, this game so far, the Canadians slow out of the blocks. That much is for sure here. As we got to see how Canada responds once they get back to 5-on-5. Baudouin out there with the face-off to the left of Ivan Kovic. One back now. Brunick will get this backhand along the wall. Baudouin's got the man far side, looking, tapping for the puck. Sam O'Reilly in on net. Baudouin towards the net. The puck was in the corner, as Baudouin thought he was jamming away at the puck, but just really jamming at air. Latvia now in full charge, coming back up the ice, out of their own zone, through the neutral. Cutting through the middle of the ice to the near side. Latvia will look from the outside to the top of the zone, and it goes wide of the net there, as a good opportunity for Canada or for Latvia, and Canada is able to survive it nonetheless. As man, oh man, this game is going to be absolutely unreal, isn't it? As I figured at some point it was going to start jamming up the internet a little bit once the wind kicked up here this morning, but that's where we are at. And Jan, once upon a time I did call hockey for a little bit of a living. Unfortunately, those days have long passed, and a guy had to get a job that paid the bills, but still enjoy calling a little bit of hockey here once in a while on the old YouTube live streams. Here we go. This one. Near side, Canada will fire this one up and out of the zone on the penalty kill, so that will do it for the power play here for Latvia, as we are going to go to 13:45 to go here in the first period of play. And again, friends, as you see there, I will have no disregard for throwing you out of the chat if you want to come here to talk politics. This is not a political channel. This is a sports channel. We'll talk sports here. That's it. That's all. As Canada coming back the other way. Misa across the line for the Canadian side. Turned back, and it'll be Tija Ginla trying to scramble that one up. As in front now, Parr Martone just again. Should have shot the puck instead of passing. Instead, it's a chance into the corner for Canada, and now they have to retrieve the puck behind the Latvian net. A turnover here for Latvia. The one-time shot hits Martone, and now Atchison there fires the puck, turned over to the near side for McKenzie. Now Aitchison with the puck again, fires it in front. Martone with the puck, he will dance, dribble in front, can't get through on the deke, and Canada's going to see their chance go by the wayside as Latvia is able to clear that one out. As here's now McKenzie looking towards the net. It'll be tipped away by the Latvian defender. Martone still smelling blood in the water here, skating around the Latvian zone. That's the thing with Martone. He's a big body when he's in that offensive zone, as Canada still with the puck in control. Now a turnover by Latvia trying to exit the zone. This will allow Canada back in. Hayes with the puck. He will try and leave it there for McKenna. A really weak play. And this will be fired back down in behind as Ivan Kovic will get it over near side for Carrolls. Carrolls gets it up as Hayes carries forward through the neutral zone for Canada. Cross to the far side. The shot loading from Brady Martin in behind the net. Gavin McKenna, not really much more than token pressure there from the Canadian side, trying to keep that one inside the Latvian end as Canada's second line trying to follow up what was a really good shift there from the Canadian top line. 5-1 the shots on net for Latvia so far through almost 9 minutes of this first period. Brady Martin, another big hit, credited him with about 3 or 4 so far this hockey game. And Latvia will rip this shot from distance. It'll be denied there by the Canadian defensive Reed and Carrolls as this one to the front of the net by Latvia over the corner, turned aside again by the Canadian defense. And here comes Gavin McKenna over to Brady Martin. Martin will just dance around the Latvian attack from trying to defend that puck. And this one now, Martin still working on the same guy. Back to Gavin McKenna. The shot through traffic doesn't hit the net. Baudouin chasing that one down, can't come up with it. Now McKenna with a big turnover, though. Shot from Brady Martin stings the Latvian defender. But hey, nonetheless, a block shot in a cleared zone for Latvia. They're back inside after the pass back to the own territory as they try to cut through the middle of the ice. Now Latvia got up into Canadian territory as Brunicky fires off the end wall to Reed as Canada regathers the puck here. Reed over far side looking for the pass for Baudouin, trying to go against the opposing number 26 as this one will fire around to the near side. Back now for Carrolls. Carrolls will look to the far side point. The shot from Brunick fired, save made, covered up by the goaltender for Latvia. And with 10:34 to go, we will have a stoppage in play here as Canada suddenly now starting to turn on the Jets at long last in this hockey game, getting a little bit going here, as maybe a little bit too late in this first period to get things rolling, but at some point they needed to, and now it's starting to look a little bit better. So hopefully it all works. We are getting closer. Again, friends, if you haven't already had a chance yet, I'm going to tell you, make sure to hit that subscribe button here on Dolany TV to stay tuned for the World Juniors and stay tuned for more coverage of the Edmonton Oilers as well. We're closing in on 20,000 subscribers today, crossing 18,700, so thank you for doing that today. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button as well on today's live stream. So we'll get this going here today. As we are rolling towards the midway point of this period, obviously Canada still not really generating too much. A couple of good shifts in the offensive zone from the first and second line, really the most memorable moments of this first period so far for Canada. Latvia stunned Canada last year at the World Juniors, December 27th, 2024, so exactly a year ago. Feldbergs was absolutely unbelievable for Team Latvia in that one, and they're looking to do it again here this year against Canada, as so far Artis Abels has his team doing exactly what they normally do at the World Juniors, just stymieing the offense and trying to get their chances when they happen. Team Canada with the face-off inside the Latvian zone to the left of the goaltender for Latvia, as this one will be fought to the near side, and Latvia will clear the zone, but Braden Coots of the Vancouver Canucks will come back with his puck for Carrolls inside his own territory. Carrolls loading up near side. The tip in onside for Canada, and we have 19 seconds to play in the first half of this first period as this puck comes all the way down into Canadian territory, and that will be an icing call against Latvia with 10:13 to go in this one. And of course, I guess, friends, if you're just tuning in after being at work this afternoon, I appreciate you coming aboard. It's obviously been a game so far that hasn't gone Canada's way, nor has it gone Latvia's way. So not necessarily the end of the world here yet for either side, as Ivan Kovic, tough when called upon. And so far for Latvia's netminder, he's been solid as well on 2 shots. Is this one a shot directed towards the net by Iginla? Doesn't go on net. So this one now an opportunity for the top line again to get out there and work, as Martone has had his chances but has yet to finish. As here's Misa loading up a shot, looking for the tip in front, maybe on the back pad. Couldn't get it there for Canada. And now along the end wall, Canada's going to come up with this puck. Tija Ginla still battling the 2 Latvian, now 3 Latvian defenders, trying to work that puck free, as Reed will take the puck along the wall. Martone fires a shot towards the net, denied there by the Latvian netminder again. And now Misa loads up one more time along the near side wall. Zane Perek dancing towards the net. He is knocked off the puck and then quickly regathers it again, as Perek still continuing to shoot that puck through traffic this time. And he has had a good tournament thus far, scoring 2 goals on the back end. Pass to the middle for Canada, doesn't go through. And now, Canada suddenly has 3 shots in the game, and it's all of a sudden right back to being okay, as this one comes back, dumped in by Martone into the Latvian end. A little bit quicker of a shift there for the top line. They got their chances, didn't get their results, and this will be batted out by Latvia into the middle of the ice as the second unit comes over for Canada. But a turnover here from McKenzie causes a chance for Ivan Kovic to make the save. And Canada, thank goodness they've got goaltending at this World Juniors so far, because without George and without Ivan Kovic so far, this 2 games, even though it's only been about 70 minutes of hockey, could be right dangerous for Canada. So glad to have you aboard here today, friends. Thanks for hanging out here on the channel. Of course, like I'm saying, I'm going to hit you a lot with this subscribe button thing, simply because I want you back here tonight. Listen to me right now. If you're going to listen to me at all today, I want you back here tonight for the Oilers versus the Flames. Battle of Alberta, coming out of Christmas, following what was a bit of a messy one pre-Christmas. So be a treat to have you along for the ride tonight, after being along for the ride here today on the World Juniors. And it's always fun when we see some new names get mixed into those Oilers live streams, and obviously, mix around and interact with the long-standing crowd we've had on those Oilers live streams here on Dolly TV. So, and if you haven't already left a like on the stream as well, make sure to do that. We're up at 36 today. I think we can definitely finish over 75, so make sure to do that. Again, liking the stream, what that does on a YouTube basis is just allows friends from wherever they're looking to find the live stream that much easier. So definitely would appreciate that if you could do that for me, as we keep rolling along here towards the end of this first period of play. Perek with a dandy of a pass between the legs there to set up Misa, and then Misa just couldn't get the stick of Tija Ginla down to tap that one in back of the net. 6-3 the shots on goal for Latvia so far. 22-27 ice time yesterday for Zane Perek in a 2-goal performance against Czechia. He was absolutely dealing for Canada against the Czech squad. So here we have it, 8:55 to go in this first period of play. It'll be Hayes taking the face-off inside his own zone here for Canada, as he will look to get the officials sorted out and figure out what's going on, what's prolonging this face-off from happening here. As Perek on the bench for Canada, it looks like sitting down, relaxing a little bit, taking a moment to breathe after what has been a strong performance for the Canadian side so far at the World Juniors following the victory against Czechia. A 7-goal effort is nothing on the board so far. Shot fired through traffic, and Latvia a chance in front, couldn't cash the rebound. And here comes Gavin McKenna for the Canadian side. He's coming right up through the middle, dancing to the near side, looking now for Hayes. Hayes will see it tipped off the stick of McKenna, and Latvia will try and gun up through the middle. 7 shots now for Latvia on the game. Man, oh man, the Canadian defense just allowing a little bit too easy of access, I think, is that one. A stick knocked out of the Canadian hands, and will we have a penalty or will we have an offside on that play? Not 100% sure. It's 30-plus goal seasons in multiple years for D-men in the OHL history. It was Bobby Orr with the Oshawa Generals and Zane Perek with the Saginaw Spirit. And of course, Zane Perek now with Calgary Flames, looking to start his NHL career in a big way, obviously, with, a performance here at the World Juniors and a first-year pro. And then he'll see what he can do next year once the Calgary Flames are a little bit more settled in what their plans for themselves are at the NHL level, going towards getting that new building ready. As this is worked back off the face-off by Latvia into Canadian territory, in control. Sean Aitchison with the puck, looking to make the play from out behind as Canada starts their routes up ice. Aitchison to the far side for Danford across the line. Canada's in flight on the attack. Denoye fires the shot. It's blocked in front of a layered attack there as Danford comes back with the rebound off the block shot and just can't get that one through either, as Latvia doing a good job preventing shots on net so far. Shots once again re-officially credited 6-4 now for Latvia, so things tightening up a little bit for Canada and Latvia out there, as Latvia back the other way, skating up in a hurry down into Canadian territory, knocked off the puck briefly by Aitchison, and then he'll bury his man into the boards with a strong shoulder. Sam O'Reilly along the far side wall, corner area, trying to battle this one free. Latvia's been strong against the boards so far in this hockey game, that much I can tell you for sure, as Aitchison gets this puck out from behind his own net. Reed passes up now, the shot fired in by Baudouin into Latvian territory, as both teams kind of content to play the chase and dump and chase and just get line changes at the same time when needed. Style of hockey that's probably going to serve both of them well if they're trying to win a low-scoring affair today. Ivankovic out to play this one. It'll be near side for Reed. Reed will bounce off the end wall, and now picking it up is Perek. He'll hammer a shot up the middle of the ice, trying to beat everybody. There is the opportunity for Luchenko, and Luchenko with a huge run up the ice almost came up with it. Latvia, well-defended play, and this one now to the far side. Perek will play it now near side, middle of the ice. Luchenko cuts it off, turns it over. This will be flipped up back into Canadian territory, and this really is just back and forth hockey with not much being achieved here by either team. As Coots starts away, he'll dump and chase that one in for Reshny. Reshny looks and sees it bounced around the Latvian zone, and Latvia again able to get the clear down the length of the ice into the Canadian territory. No icing call on the play. Canada back to retrieve, trying to get this one jammed along the wall. Latvia unable to come up with it. And this is just where both teams have gone back the other way and really not done much with it, as Aginla fires one off a body off the end wall and away from the net. And here it goes back into the neutral zone. Latvia coming back into the Canadian territory as Carroll's takes down his man and then jams a stick into the shoulder. And it looks like he just tries to fall on the puck, does the Latvian player inside Canadian territory. Hotly contested match. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, it's not like it's a lack of physicality or a lack of effort out there. It's just both teams not achieving much because of it. And this one's going to be flipped by Canada back into the middle of the ice. The shot from Latvia from the middle of the ice, and a rebound opportunity, kick towards the net. Latvia scores, and they're saying it was kicked in as Ivankovic, but I don't think so. I think Latvia got a stick on that puck. And that will be a 1-0 lead for Latvia just like that. Wow. Disaster class from Canada on that flip to the middle of the ice, and just really not at all pursuing the men in front, as I don't know where Misa was going behind the net. Misa gets caught puck watching and then looks, oh, it actually might have been kicked in. Never mind. We might have to review that one here, as that was a puck that went across the line off the blade of the Latvian attacker. I thought he got a part of it when he swiped it, but that one might have been kicked in. As Claudian Duo, welcome back, welcome in. Glad to see you again here on day 2 of the World Juniors. But for Canada, is this one going to stand up as kicked in, or is this one going to stand up as a goal for Latvia? This will be the challenge here for the officials, who are trying to decide right now with 5.5 minutes to go in this first period of play. So right now they've ruled it, it's still a 0-0 game on the scoreboard, so keep that in mind. There's no official goal up for Latvia, and you're looking at the shot here for the Latvian player as he kicks it across the line there, and ultimately probably won't count. Ivankovic pretty certain on that one that he was beat cleanly only because it was kicked in, not because it was scooped in with the stick. Fair enough by Ivankovic. He waves that off rather quick himself, and the officials will rule it on the ice now. No goal. So Canada avoids disaster, similar to Slovakia earlier on yesterday in the first game of the day. It will be a no goal, and Canada will have an opportunity to sit back and relax for a little bit longer, as it's 5:28 to go and still a scoreless hockey game. Friends, again, if you're hanging out here on the live stream today, would appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to come back on Monday night for the World Juniors game then as well. Come back tonight for the Edmonton Oilers versus the Calgary Flames. It's going to be one heck of a hockey game, that's for sure. Again, for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, wondering maybe a little bit about the Oilers fandom, the studio chair kind of prevents you from seeing the full effect, right? Right up here, if you know anything about the Oilers, I've got the Bakersfield Condors jersey. You can see that just by the highlight right here. This being a James Hamblin jersey, number 57, from back in the day when the Oilers still had the old style jersey. The reverse retro, the Team Canada Classic that I got for Christmas back in 2018. The Ryan Nugent-Hopkins newest edition. You see this one right here is signed by James Hamblin. You don't see the full name on the screen. And of course down right here beside me is the Oilers reverse retro, similar to that one. The Old Faithful, you can see the stains even on the camera. And then the Heritage Classic, which was all too important to get. And then the McDavid from many moons ago when I needed a Halloween costume and decided to spend over $300 on a Halloween costume that was rather terrible for the first ever time showing up to my friend's party. So that's the jerseys on the wall obviously as well. Anyone that knows this one, I'm sure you can tell me. I don't have to tell you what that there is on the backdrop. All right, so what we know is that puck was kicked in, and that's where we find ourselves right now. For Canada, down to a 0-0 game once again. As Mega Hamlin is in Oilers farmhand. As I have to get back to it, as Brady Martin races in, fires a shot on net just 7 seconds after the whistle, and that will go up and out of play. But yes, Brady Martin is a great player for Team Canada. Sorry, James Hamlin, though, is a farmhand for the Edmonton Oilers, playing down there on the Bakersfield Condors. As we'll get this going for a face-off now for Martin, Hage, and yes, indeed, Gavin McKenna, as he'll look to do something here on this face-off for Team Canada. As Martin's pushed out, and this will be fired back by Latvia into the Canadian end. Looks like it'll be an icing call here against Latvia, who would lead the game 7-4 against Canada so far. Yeah, absolutely, David. If Mike Johnson is saying that's a wake-up moment for Canada, it should absolutely be a wake-up moment for Canada, that goal against. As Hage will take in the draw here for Canada. 5:14 to go in this first period of play. As both teams so far not really mustering much. I mean, I guess Latvia's at least had a goal waved off, so they've done something towards the net. As this one back to the blue line now for Prek. Prek will dance there with McKenna. McKenna wheeling and dealing the shot towards the net. Drifts wide. I thought that was going to have eyes for the back of the net. It ultimately didn't. As this one goes free for Latvia near far side corner. Now coming up through the neutral zone. Latvia will fire into the near side corner Canadian end. This is picked up. This will be Prek loading across the blue line. Prek now near side for Reed. Reed fires back into the Latvian end, and this will be a couple of plays along the wall that Canada is able to keep the puck alive for. So here's Martin with the puck again. This second line eats a lot of ice in the offensive zone so far in this tournament. They've been doing really good. Martin with a shot towards the net, bounces out of the corner, comes back to the high point for Prek. Prek dancing again there, this time with Reed. Reed will be an option. Reed will fire the one-timer, and it'll be wide of the net as the goaltender for Latvia way out to try and save that puck. Had to recover quickly as Hage comes in, dancing towards the middle. Can't be connected there with a Canadian player in front. I think that was McKenna. So now Canada will try and reload the attack one more time. Here's Sam O'Reilly trying to deke his way through the Latvian defender. It'll be cut off by Gavin McKenna, who will fall to the ice. And Latvia will look like they are going to take a penalty here with 3:54 to go. So Latvia will spend 2 minutes or less in the last 4 minutes shorthanded here for possibly a tripping call. Never mind, a holding call. All right, so the Latvian player will go off for a hold here, as I guess holding the stick. I don't know how that all works there. Is nonetheless, it will be a call against against Team Latvia. So we have a power play here for Canada with, like I said, 3:54 to go in the first period. Canada able to win this draw back. Misa back to the blue line for Perek. Perek over now near side. Martone. Perek over to the far side, keeping it going. Misa down low. Iginla back to Misa. The shot blocked in by the goaltender for Latvia. Up over top of the net as Misa looking to keep things going. It looks like the goaltender's mask has lost a strap or something, I guess. As the Latvian goaltender kind of whistles for the play to be blowing dead. And he just kind of, a little bit of wooziness there as Misa rocketed the shot right off the mask, right between the eyes. And that somehow enabled a call there from the officials, so Canada will reload the attack. Opportunity for Perek, the shot save made by the Latvian goaltender again. Martone couldn't recover in time to get the rebound as he ultimately does finally at the blue line here for Canada. As Canada tries to roll this one back to the far point. The shot loading for Perek, trying to guide that one in off a Canadian in front. Iginla with the puck near side. Luchenko in support. In behind the net now to the far side. It's going to bounce out of the offensive zone. Canada with a... Now to the far side it goes for Canada. Canada will load this one up near far side of the zone. Now Canada again. Perek back to the far side for Iginla. Iginla chooses not to rip that puck. Pass in front by Misa, and it's going to be directed off of a body in front of the Latvian net to the far side boards. 29 seconds to go here in this power play for Canada. Is a nifty little play there by Luchenko. Keeps it on side. Tisha Iginla, the pass in front. Denied there. Can't connect. The Latvian goaltender maybe enough on it. Luchenko fires it through traffic. Shot again on net there by Iginla. And now we're going to have a little bit of pushing and shoving in front as Martone's down in front of the net. And Iginla gets his helmet ripped off by the Latvian in front. And that was a heck of a sequence there for Canada finally on the finish of the power play. As just cannot seem to connect on those backdoor opportunities for Canada. At some point they're going to have to try and shoot a puck through the Latvian netminder. I tell you that much for sure. As right now we've got 544 votes on the live stream poll here, friends. And 77% of you are still going for Team Canada to win this thing. I guess, can Canada stay off the penalty kill? That'll be another question to be answered as this game wears on as well. As this one will be a face-off for Latvia. They will take it and rim it down to the far side boards and out of the zone, and that will do it. And we are inside the final 2 minutes of this, the first period. 7-7 the shots. McKenzie loading up. He's got Brunick. Brunick will load up Gavin McKenna, and the puck will be chipped into the far side corner. Canada trying to come across behind the net here as Martin's battling that one free. It'll be Latvia able to get it out of the pile and fire it down the length of the ice into Canadian territory. A nice knockdown by Hayes was able to keep it from dribbling all the way to the goaltender. And this one whacked in by Hayes into the Latvian zone. Around to the far side. Canada's got the puck now. Brunick with the puck for Hayes. Brunick's got the shot. He's going to fire it towards the net and finally not look back door. Just try to fire it through everybody. Another shot here in front. That time Brady Martin is denied as Hayes goes along the far side. 1:10 to go here. Hayes stumbles, keeps it alive. McKenna gets it back to Hayes. The shot fired, save made, rebound in front. Denied again by Latvia. Now Canada all of a sudden has the better of the shot advantage here, at least at this point of the hockey game. 9-7 over top of the Latvian side. Again, friends, if you're looking to watch the game tonight in Canada, it's on TSN. You can, if you don't have access to basic cable, you can go over to tsn.ca and sign up for the Plus membership. So that would be what I would tell you as we get this game rolling along here. The first period almost up and done, and Canada wasn't doing much, if anything at all, early on in this hockey game. And now suddenly they've got something rolling here against Latvia the last few minutes, thanks to a power play. I'm not going to say it's not thanks to the power play. Is the face-off near side, one back by the Canadians. Carrolls keeps it on the right side of the blue. And now a far side pass for Danford. Danford will go down behind the net and allow Denoise to come into this puck. This will be now back to Sam O'Reilly. O'Reilly battles through a check. O'Reilly along the near side boards. Back to the blue line. Carroll's far side. Danford. Danford the shot blocked in front. He'll roll it back to himself. The shot through traffic this time gets through. It's a rebound to the near side point for Carrolls along the end wall. Battling there is Sam O'Reilly. Pass by Baudouin over to the far side for Danford. Danford along behind now for Baudouin, or for Sam O'Reilly, sorry. As this one to the near side, the one-timer for Danford off the face-off dot denied with 13 seconds to go, and suddenly the Team Canada's third line really got something cooking there inside Latvian territory, and that's going to be double-digit shots for Canada in a period in which was not looking very good. Canada will skate it back towards their own end and finish this first period tied with Latvia 0-0 after one period of play. Friends, what an awesome first period it turned out to be. It didn't look that way originally, but that's how it turns out to be for Canada and Latvia here at game number 2 of the World Juniors 2026 for Team Canada. Friends, again, if you haven't had a chance yet to hit that subscribe button, highly encourage you to do that. The Battle of Alberta coming up later tonight here on the channel, and of course we'll have the day off from the World Juniors and then get to a big time game on Monday for Team Canada. So stay tuned here. For right now though, I'm going to head upstairs, refill a water bottle, take a bathroom break, and we'll to recap the first period here in a matter of moments. All right, Canada, Latvia tied at 0 after one period of play. A tough go for Team Canada after not starting that first period right, and then they get the bounce via the bounce going in the net for Latvia off the skate, not counting as a goal. That was a huge, huge benefit for Team Canada, and now, you got to make good on it. Obviously, they tried their best at the end of that period, but still, Latvian goaltending is Latvian goaltending, and it will stop you at every turn, so it seems, when you're Team Canada. So we'll hopefully see Canada be able to come up with an effort here tonight that gets the job done against Latvia. So, hopefully that is the case here in this one. So, Team Canada. Well, you know what? Maybe reminiscent of that second period against Czechia. Maybe a little bit reminiscent there, where you were wishing for better results and didn't get them, and then a big third period happened. That's what I'm going to keep the positivity going as here in this one, is hopefully for Team Canada everything works out and everything's good and okay the rest of the way home in today's hockey game. Again, friends, if you haven't had a chance yet today on Dolly TV to check out the latest offering, talking all about Trent Frederick, who kind of is having himself an issue of a year, but for some friends it may be somewhat reminiscent of the situation once upon a time ago with, one Connor Brown. So I'll put that in the chat there for you. As right now we have 76% of you voting on 605 votes for Canada. So Latvia's starting to creep up little by little here on the live stream, more and more votes. And of course, Marsh there as well going for Latvia on the stream. So we're seeing how that'll shake out as the Latvia fans, I'm sure, will be raiding in here at some point soon enough. And ultimately as well, we're up to 18,728 subscribers. So friends, thank you for that as well. Another plus 38 day here on the channel as we get closer to 20,000. Seems crazy, but I think by the end of the Olympics at the latest we'll have it. And obviously as well, there's a possibility here by the end of the World Juniors we could get the job done here, as we're getting closer and closer to the number by the day here, day 1 and day 2. So like I said, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure to do that. We greatly appreciate that as we go to the Battle of Alberta later tonight. And if you haven't already left a like on the stream, make sure to do that. So the Oilers, by the way, if you haven't been following the Oilers season yet this year, they're 4-0 in this new alternate jersey. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the Oilers in the alternate jersey, when you see they've got a game upcoming on social media, check it out. Those jerseys look slick on the television set. I'm just going to let that Team Canada jersey kind of hang out a little bit more. But for Team Canada, this second period is going to have to be a big one. I think that would be the math that we're talking about here. Canada needs an effort in this second period that comes up with a victory, given the fact that really that first period was not bad, but definitely not good enough if you're Team Canada. So today, a big effort here would help, and ultimately as well get a little bit of alleviation off the issue that is some teams that maybe shouldn't be giving Canada trouble here over the past 2 or 3 years at the World Juniors. And that's no slight at Latvia or Czechia. Again, they've gotten much, much better on the international stage, and fair enough. But Canada has kind of regressed themselves, and that's where we need a bigger effort here tonight against Latvia than we have gotten thus far against Latvia today. So Canada versus Czechia was a step in the right direction. Now you got to, again, number 2 on the checklist, pay back Latvia for this issue that you had last year. So hopefully that's the case as this second period gets going. Kurt, welcome in. As, Team Canada, just overall until about that, about 6-minute mark, I guess, of that first period, they did not really get the skates and sticks going. And then once they did, things started to improve, and that got really, really good. So hopefully that's the case here. And Brian, are you talking about the 2014 Olympic team for Latvia? Is that the game you're referencing? I don't think Ted ever coached the Latvia national team at the World Juniors level. Again, everything kind of gets muddied up in my head a lot of the time after watching as much hockey as I have. But I think Ted Nolan coached Latvia. Was it Latvia Juniors? Okay, you're saying Latvia Juniors. Sorry, maybe I should read the comment. But no, I do not remember back then. I haven't been covering the juniors as much as I have been until lately. So my apologies if I can't exactly pull it out of the brain there. That must have been a few years back. especially if Ted Nolan was coaching. But yeah, so that's maybe me just missing something as a hockey fan. But, what do we got here? We got the summary so far for Canada. 11 shots on goal. Latvia 7 shots on goal so far. Both teams 0 for 1 on the power play. And really, that's about all there is to this hockey game thus far. Is a called back goal for Latvia, kicked in. And yeah, it was a different kind of situation there for Team Canada in that first period compared to what maybe we were hoping for. But unfortunately, Team Canada still unable to come up with a result to get the job done here. So we will see if they have that result in them in the second period upcoming. And that would be absolutely awesome if they could start scoring some goals. It's always a good time when Canada scores at the World Juniors. It's always a good time to have a goal to call as well. I think maybe to go to the social media machine for any kind of response and any kind of anything here is looking to see here. Sounds like J.J. Moser just signed an 8-year, $6.75 million extension with Tampa Bay Lightning. That's a heck of an extension there. Is all we've got right now. Yeah, there's not really much else to mention. Now, social media is not really reacting to this one here so far because really there ain't much to react to if you're a Canadian fan here so far against Latvia this afternoon. Of course, Edmonton, Calgary coming up at 8 p.m. Mountain Time for Hockey Night in Canada. That will be a lot to react to, I guarantee it. Given the way things played out for the Oilers and the Flames on December 23rd, I think you should expect a lot of fireworks between the Oilers and Flames tonight, and we'll have the game live here on Dolly TV. Same exact idea as you're seeing here on the channel today. So would love to invite you back aboard for the Oilers versus the Flames. It's going to be one heck of a hockey game tonight, and I think almost the perfect game to have a doubleheader with the World Juniors for Canada in a day. So looking forward to that. As right now we got a little advertisement for Owen Riegling and Tail Light This Town, which is a pretty decent song as well if you haven't heard the new Canadian country music scene out there yet. So Daniel, welcome aboard as we are getting set for a little bit of discussion here for Joshua Ravensburg, who will do the shuffle vibration or whatever, as he's showing off how to just keep focus in the net there. As it has been a great game from Jack Ivankovic so far. I think even Ivan Kovic's kind of kept the Team Canada squad in it right now, and obviously only been beaten once on the overturned goals. So Ivankovic, who played a great game last year against Latvia and was on the losing end, is really hoping not to be on the losing end of this one against Team Latvia today. So for him, he's got to keep saving the puck, stopping pucks, and be just fine. Tonight on TSN, if you're not tuning into the hockey game, you've got the Ravens and Green Bay Packers. I don't know what the playoff implications or if any of that even matters for either team, but that is an option for your sports viewing pleasure tonight as well. As Adam, it's still 0-0. Yes, indeed it was. And it was 1-0 Latvia for a brief moment, but the goal was overturned on a kick-in motion, so unfortunately for Latvia, it does not add up to a 1-0 lead after one. The goal overturned, like I said, on that kicking motion. Slovakia having their way early on in that hockey game against Germany and going up 3-0. And I believe Germany cut the lead to 3-1. But a good night for Slovakia, following up a good game against Sweden, which was really important for Slovakia to get their tournament underway. They end up winning 4-1 over top of Germany at the end of the game. So Slovakia 1-0-1, and this is the tail of the tape after one period of play. Ozone time for Team Canada 10:58. Ozone possession time 4 minutes and 8 seconds. Only 49 seconds for Latvia, and 8-3 the block shots for Latvia. That is the difference so far in this hockey game between Canada and Latvia, as Latvia has just been able to get the body in front of the pucks and stop some really good looking opportunities for Team Canada so far. So friends, again, like I'm saying, I keep advertising this Oilers-Flames game. make sure to come back tonight, hit that subscribe button, enable notifications, however you want them, and get ready to come back for the Battle of Alberta later tonight. Canada versus Latvia, delivering pretty good hockey game so far, but the Battle of Alberta, I think, will definitely steal the spotlight tonight, or maybe the Battle of Florida, depending on which side of things you are. But I'm really looking forward to calling the Battle of Alberta and what will be a really fun hockey game tonight for the Oilers and Flames. So we're getting closer and closer towards puck drop here in this second period of play, as hopefully for Team Canada, a great effort here gets the job done and allows us a little bit of a breathing room against Latvia by the end of the second period. So Nicholas, welcome in. You guys can laugh about the Oilers thing all you want, but we do also cover the Blue Jays here on the channel. So if you're a Leafs, Habs, Senators, Canucks, Flames, Jets fan at all, definitely consider still subscribing to stay tuned for Toronto Blue Jays updates throughout the Blue Jays off season and throughout the regular season as well. Once the Blue Jays get back to it, might have some Blue Jays live streams when things get quiet. And Nicholas wondering what year that Canada jersey is from. That's the 2018 Olympics jersey from when they were over there overseas. So exciting to see. Team Canada obviously hopefully have the NHL players at the Olympics this year. I know there's still some kind of curiosity as to if the Olympic hockey will even be able to be played at that stadium, but I'm hoping, and I think it'll be one of those things. I'm going to go get myself a new jersey here in the next little bit. So that'll be the thing that remains to be seen here. But I think the Olympics will have Canada played, or have NHL players playing, and we should be good. As Nicholas, Jets fan, hey, all good. I do not mind the Jets at all. Jets are a pretty fun team to watch a lot of the time. Just wish they would be able to do something in the playoffs a little bit more consistently, other than the one time they beat the Edmonton Oilers. So right now, we're waiting for this second period to get underway, friends. We're rolling along here on the broadcast tonight. And of course, if you haven't already hit that like button yet, we're looking for like number 50 on tonight's live stream as we get closer and closer to the second period. I don't know what's taking so long. It feels like this intermission has been a long time, but it's all good. We'll get through it, I'm sure. As it looks like we should be ready to go now for this afternoon's second period. My apologies. It's just, I don't know. It's been a weird time. I don't even know what day it is. I actually fired up the streaming setup today, and I'm like, whoa, it's Saturday. What the heck? I thought it was Sunday. I thought I had to go back to work tomorrow, but apparently that is not the case. I'll take the day off tomorrow, and I'll enjoy the fact that I have a day off from the World Juniors as well. Day off from the Oilers to go out and kind of see the world for the first time since Christmas Eve. As Moy is going for Latvia from Finland. Obviously, Finland looking for support from Latvia simply to take down Canada here at the World Juniors. And Isaac as well, talking about the jersey collection. Now, what I have to caution you, this jersey collection that I have on the walls here is about 12 years in the making at this point. So there's been a lot of time and effort put into assembling this jersey collection. So again, it's one of those things, it might seem ridiculous to have this many jerseys, but at the end of the day, kind of looking forward to building up the collection over the years, so as I have a history of what is the channel as well. It's been kind of fun to collect all these jerseys over the years and kind of have stories to tell with them and memories with them as well. As Latvia and getting set for the center ice face-off against Canada here, as we're about set to do this second period of play, the official to the center ice draw, and Baudouin will lose the draw at center ice 11-7 here in this one, as this one goes around to the far side. Battling along the boards there, Canada's able to get it going in the positive direction in behind the Latvian net. Baudouin with the puck. He will roll up to the far side. Rolling now Denoise back to the blue line. The shot through traffic goes up over top of the net as Canada gets their first shot directed at the net to start the period. And this one fired towards the Canadian end on the dump in by Latvia. A nice dump and chase there. Comes up with the puck for Latvia, trying to get the shot towards the net. The rebound denied both times by Ivan Kovac. This will come all the way down the length of the ice for an icing call against Canada with 39 seconds gone in this second period of play. So that is where it's at, as this one came along the near side and just a double jam there from the Latvian attacker. As Oshmanis had an opportunity to keep that one alive for Latvia, and then it was the secondary support coming in and firing that puck on net, as this will be back along the end wall to the far side, picking it up. Latvia sees Canada exit the zone to the far side pass, and it'll be another icing call here for Canada. So Latvia, number 10 in the IIHF World Rankings, $1.8 million population, junior players 3,761, indoor rinks 22, WJC World appearances 11. So there you have it. That's world first time with 2 wins in the WJC prelim round last year for Latvia 2025. Now near side, Latvia off the face-off draw in behind the Canadian net. They're trying to get that early pressure that they sustained against Canada in that first period. They're trying to get it going here as well, as this one fired to the middle of the ice off a blade. Latvia kind of turned that one over right onto the Canadian tape, as here now McKenzie with the puck from Denoy, as this will be picked up by Perek, who jumped across the boards. And now coming down the wing is Misa. Misa fires the shot, the save, kicked out by the Latvian goaltender. Nobody following that one up. Across the middle of the ice, Latvia fires off the end wall, looking for a man open on the far side wing. Maybe a dangerous play, but Latvia, good support at their own blue line to get it down into the Canadian territory. Ivan Kovac out to play that puck, as Latvia will crash against Perek. Perek is shaken up here, and he looks like he's trying to find his stick, but he is going to go skating to the bench, and we're going to have a stoppage and play, possibly a high stick against Latvia, or Perek ate something up high here, as he is going to check for blood. No blood there. And does Team Canada have a power play? They do here early on in this second period of play, as Latvia got Clockins, is that how you say that, coming in, and maybe just a little bit of a shoulder to the head. They're not a high stick, a shoulder to the head, so possibly a 2-minute check to the head minor here, and they're going to call it a major. Actually sounds like they're going to call it a major, but we'll have a moment to review it. I think that's really only a 2-minute minor, as the shoulder just kind of rode up and exploded through the head for Perek there, but hopefully under review here for Canada. A 5-minute major would be absolutely fantastic to get things going again. Do I want to stir that pot that badly? Not that bad. So hopefully everything's good. Did he actually, I wasn't looking at the hit there. Did he jump into the hit? Oh, he did. Oh, Quaddy, you're right. He did jump into the hit there a little bit, so maybe that's why they're looking at a major there. Kind of, yeah, he just exploded. That would be why the shoulder exploded up, that's for sure. As he jumps off the skates, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem right there for Latvia. Got a little overzealous throwing that hit and jumped off the blades. That will likely be a 5-minute major at the World Juniors level. We haven't really seen that all too much here so far through the tournament for the games that I've watched, at least. And well, it looks like the officials are going to have probably an easy call based on him leaving his feet. But that is a little wild that really on that hit was really nothing major that needed to happen there. And for some reason, the Latvian player just exploded through it. Fair enough. I mean, send a message, do what you got to do. But yeah, that's quite the hit at the World Juniors level. There's a lot of punishment that usually comes with something like that. So the Latvian player sitting on the bench there, talking things over, or sitting in the box there, the official's talking things over. And it looks like the official with the call here. So 5 minutes and a game for a check to the head for the Latvian player. He will be ushered out of the box, I'm sure. As a 5-minute power play for Canada here. And we are going to have to clutch up on this power play and get the job done. That much is for sure. Canada cannot afford to let this power play go by the wayside. If they do, well, that'll be a problem, that's for sure, as that's I guess leaving the feed, as Quaddy mentioned, that's the tough part there. So at the World Juniors level, punishment is pretty heavy-handedly doled out, and that's why they have just decided on a 5 in a game here. As like I said, that hit did not need to be what it was. At the end of the day, whether you agree with the punishment or not, that hit did not need to be an explode through the man and try to run him through the boards there. Just need to be a solid check him into the boards, free up the puck. And now the officials talking things over again. Latvia chirping with the Canadian bench as Hayes in the second line, typically for Canada, plus Zane Perek and probably somebody else will be out there for Team Canada. Actually, Perek's probably going to go under concussion protocol, never mind. As the Latvian fans not too all impressed with that. Face off down inside the Latvian zone. Latvia will win the draw back behind the net, fire it down the length of the ice, and immediately they're out and get the clear as Canada 0 for 1 on the power play so far with 3 shots. So that was the turning point in that first period. Martin out there with Brunick and Haig and, of course, McKenna. And I think Reshny is out there as well, as here's Martin now. Pass to the far side for Reshny. Reshny bounces it up off the boards to Hayes. Hayes with the puck will look back to Brunick. Brunick over near side now, McKenna. McKenna with the puck will look to load up the shot for Reshny. Reshny, the shot through traffic, scores! Just like that, Team Canada capitalizes, and up 1-0 they go. On their 13th shot of the hockey game, that was a much, much needed goal there for Team Canada. 2.5 minutes into this second period, and hey, you know what? You got to take advantage of the other team's mistakes, and that's exactly what they do here. Gavin McKenna with another assist in the tournament as Reshny finds the back of the net. That's a huge goal right there for Team Canada. Traffic right in front of Smith's, just kind of blocking his own goaltender's vision. And there you have it, back of the net as the old tragically hit rain down at the Minnesota Arena. And Team Canada, hey, we're up 1-0 here. Let's get this job done now. You got 4 minutes and 21 seconds power play time. Team Canada just has to keep scoring from here on out. As the face-off down, Martone across to the far side, picking it up, Tij Iginla. Iginla now onside here, Luchenko. Top of the zone for Perek. Misa, back to Perek, back to Misa. The one-timer queued up, did not work from the dry settle spot. And now Misa will try and free this one to the far side. Luchenko passes it back to Iginla. Iginla back behind the man. How weird is it to say Iginla as this one comes back from behind the net. Misa looking now behind, back to the blue line. Perek comes down the near side. He'll fire around to the far side. And this will battle now for Iginla along the wall, near side pickup for Misa. Misa back to the blue line for Perek. Perek over to the far side, gets it back, and Luchenko just couldn't do anything with it, so now it's back to Perek. Perek down low for Misa. Misa looking out from behind the net, pass to the far side for Luchenko, pass in front denied there, and Latvia will clear the ice. Credit to Latvia here so far on the penalty kill following that goal. Well controlled, doing a good job, and this one will be tipped back into Latvian territory for an icing call. So Latvia, a good response following getting scored on promptly on the power play there. And so far so good here as both teams still engaged in a tight hockey game. And Reshny with a big time goal there for sure. As we need to see what happens here as this game carries on. Obviously, Reshny having himself a big impact tournament here as well. I think this whole Canadian squad is a bunch of hopefuls that have a high potential caliber NHL career ahead of them. Is battling along the end wall. Latvia is sealing things up. Canada finally frees up the puck. Here comes Gavin McKenna. Back the other way. Hayes with the puck. Hayes comes to the high point. McKenna sees it tipped back there. And there we go. Brunick will come up with this puck. To the far side, picked up near side. McKenna on the double pass. McKenna over, turns it over to Latvia, and it'll be fired down. This will be picked up by Ivan Kovac. And Brunick will pick it up back down into his own zone for McKenna now. 13-9, the shots on goal. McKenna carries forward. Looking through the middle of the ice to the far side. Back to the blue line. No, Canada's going to fake the pass. And now there's Reshny back to the blue line on cue for Hayes. Brunick with the pass over to McKenna. Not really communicating with him, but McKenna still with the shot. Fired wide of the net. Rebound in front. Canada can't fire that one through traffic. And here comes Latvia. Now back the other way. 2:04 to go in the 5-minute major to the Latvian player. Brunick with the puck. He'll load up through the center of the ice. Canada picks it up now. Hayes at his own blue line. Over to the near side blue line for McKenna. Hayes with a big time pass to Martin. The shot fired off the shoulder of the Latvian netminder as Iginla back to the blue line for Brunick. Brunick over near side for McKenna. McKenna loading through the face-off dots right to the slot. The shot fired up over top of the net, and McKenna will try and recover here as Brunick with the puck. Will fire the shot through traffic, and it's blocked again. So credit Latvia again. Another offensive zone possession for Canada, and Latvia stands tall for another few minutes there with $1:15 to go here on this one. Near side. Over across the line. Luchenko, the shot fired off the inside of the post and out. And this will be chipped out by Latvia again with $1 remaining here in this power play. Perek behind his own net. 58 seconds to go in the power play. As this will be picked up by Iginla. Iginla across to the near side for Misa. Misa with the puck back to the blue line here. Perek again to the far side. Loading up Luchenko. Far side corner Martone. Martone with 40 seconds to go in this power play. Perek with the puck. He'll fire down low for Misa between the legs. Shovel doesn't get the puck through the goaltender for Latvia, and it'll be picked up by Luchenko. Luchenko now near side, picking it up now. Perek on the pass in the middle of the slot, and Latvia just the weakest clear attempt you'll see, but they get the job done nonetheless. And here's Perek back on side rather immediately. 18 seconds to go, and all Canada has done, well, is get a goal. That's it on this power play. 9 seconds remain as Perek pass there from Misa over to the far side, and there you have it. 4 seconds to go here in this power play, and it's up and done as this will be picked up by Misa. Battling there. Latvia gets it back as Denoy with the puck now. Denoy with the puck at the high far side face-off dot. Shot drifted towards the net. Latvia continues to battle that puck and will get it out to the far side. Latvia coming down the right wing. Skating to the far side, turned back there by the Canadian defense. Great line change from Latvia to get onside quick and attack. That puck, though, ultimately comes to Kashan Aitchison, who will roll it back down for Danford. Danford with the puck, looking to start out from behind his own net here with a little bit of this period already gone. Almost, well, 2.5 minutes to go until the halfway mark. As this be Sam O'Reilly in behind. Puck is battled to the near side. Shot from Aitchison goes up and out of play. We'll have a stoppage in play and a much needed bathroom break for yours truly here, friends. Stay tuned here on Dolly TV. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, make sure to do that. I'll be right back. Here we go, friends. Back to it. The shot fired from Canada. Denied in front. And Latvia will start back the other way, leading the game 14-10 in shots. Latvia along the near side wall inside the Canadian territory. Shot fired through traffic. And Ivan Kovic makes the save. A big old belly save to stop that one right there. So a good stop for the Canadian side. Is Quaddy, I missed something. I just, like I said, need to run up there for a bathroom break quickly. So I guess Canada just got away with a headshot. Is that what we're hearing? I'm waiting to see if there's a highlight here. I don't know if TSN will show that. TSN being a little suspect with that maybe. As a 14-11. As this be O'Reilly for the face-off, winning it back. As that is won by really Latvia, truly, as they pushed it down behind the Canadian net. Nice play there by the Latvian defender in the neutral ice territory to hold up the Canadian attack. Now to the near side, O'Reilly will pass it over to the far side for Carrolls. Carrolls now back to the near side for O'Reilly, who will scoop it in to the Latvian zone. The goaltender out to play it, leaves it there for his defender. This will be batted off the end wall. Now a pickup for Denoise. The shot towards the net, blocked in front. Rebound goes towards the net, but denied there for Canada as Denoise will fire another shot. This one just missing wide. Man, Canada's got to dial in the shots here this game, as Danford will be checked off the puck there, and Canada will see it worked out into this one as this is picked up by O'Reilly. Shot fired off the shoulder of the netminder for Latvia, and it'll be picked up again by Canada. Dance to the middle. The shot save made. Rebound in front. Bowling over the netminder. And Canada still denied there as they cling to this 1-0 lead. And any Latvia fans that are sitting here giving Canada grief right now, I don't know if you know how last year went, but I don't think there's a single Canadian fan that's sitting pretty on this 1-0 lead, that's for sure. As Latvian goaltender Morans continues to deny Canada left, right, and center out there, but also all it takes is Canada taking a really dumb tripping or holding penalty with 9 minutes left in the third period for this game to end 2-1 Latvia in a shootout. So again, that's where I'd caution. I know how this story ends, and I'm not about to get too excited about a 1-0 lead. This one in behind the net, picking it up. Canada will come out with Brady Martin near side. Martin looking to the front of the net for McKenna. He guides back to the blue line, and it escapes the zone with 17-11 to go in the shots department here. As this one across to the far side. Pass now for Hayes. Hayes, shot, fire, save made. And this one picked up. Canada continues to roll around zone. Brunick with the puck, shot fired towards the net, save made in front. And now all of a sudden Latvia will take exception to the Canadians in the crease, and I like to see this. This is what was a little bit fun about Slovakia and Sweden last game, was a lot of pushing and shoving after the whistle in the crease, and Canada's going to keep buzzing the tower. You got to see this one here. So we'll see how it goes. We continue to roll along here in this one, friends. Like I'm saying, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, I know I'm hitting it hard. I want you to come back for the Oilers versus the Flames later tonight. Always a good time to talk Battle of Alberta, and a good chance to do it after the Team Canada squad has played World Juniors here today. So let's get this rolling, as 18-11 to go, as Gillis TV being put to work here today, that's for sure. Okay, 18-11, the shots on net, 10:31 to go. Sorry, I don't know why I've been keeping messing up my diamonds like that all day, all week so far. Again, I don't even know what time of day or what day it is, so that might be part and parcel for it. As Prek off the face-off win for Latvia, comes now near side to the middle of the ice. It's steered away by a Latvian stick. Prek turns that puck over, and then Misa trying to keep it alive for Team Canada will be Martone that keeps it on side eventually, and then Latvia sees it scooped away at the blue line, but Latvia ruled them offside there by working that puck just outside the blue there. So great play from Latvia, and obviously what has been an interesting game so far from Canada, as they are kind of fighting themselves a little bit here tonight. The passing's not crisp, and a couple of the major shots missing wide of the net, kind of costing Canada in a couple of big clutch scenarios. So right now, we'll see if Canada can start getting things going. This face-off one back, Martone's taken down off the draw. No penalty there. It's just good heavy contact, as this will be picked up by Morans. Morans will fire off the boards out into the neutral zone. Latvia is able to get the clear, and then there's that dumb penalty by Danford as he sticks up the Latvian player and everybody converges in the corner. Told you it was coming. And it looks like Danford will go to the box, and everybody is ruled to go away from the play as the Latvian player looks like he is cut on the play, so it'll be a double minor for Team Canada. I don't know what Ben Danford was doing on that play, but my goodness, that one was rough in terms of taking that penalty in that spot. So there you have it. Latvia, if you were looking for your chance, you're looking to get it going. So that is where we have it. So we'll see how this plays out for Team Canada, and obviously Latvia going to the power play here in the next few moments. Again, if you haven't, like I said, already hit that subscribe button. I know I keep pushing it, but gotta keep doing it. We're closing in on 1,250 subscribers to go to 20,000, friends. Big milestone. Been looking forward to that for a long time, and I want to say a huge shout out to my friend Gillis TV for moderating the chat here tonight, making sure there's nothing too crazy going on in there. As we are closing in on now 8 o'clock, right? We got 4 hours to go until the Battle of Alberta is live on our television sets. I'm getting excited for that as well. It's going to be one heck of a hockey game tonight for the Edmonton Oilers, and hopefully the Calgary Flames as well, showing up with a good effort themselves. So as we currently sit, it's going to be a stick to the face for the Latvian player, which leads to a double minor. One would almost assume Uthins there takes the stick, and I mean, I don't know what Ben Danford's doing swinging the stick like that. I mean, I don't want to criticize these kids too much, realizing they're just kids, but that was about the worst check you can possibly throw at a player coming back the other way. So yeah, that's Uthins' nose is bent in a few. That does not look good. That does not look good at all. So it's only no, that's got to be a double major, no? Or double minor, sorry, double minor. Is that only going to be a 2-minute penalty? I feel like I'm missing something here. Okay, the referee's signaling 4. That was a weird one. Okay, that is a double. Okay, that is a double. Ben Danford takes the penalty. Double minor for high sticking. 4-minute double minor for Latvia to try and get their power play going here in this game. Canada was successful on the second attempt, and Latvia now attempt number 2 and 3 here tonight as Ivan Kovic will face the Latvian attack for the first time in a little bit here in this second period, as this will get things going here. Face off to the right of Ivan Kovic. One back by Latvia. Looking to the far side point. Near side it comes now. Latvia will play down near side. Good shot. Good shot. Out of the corner they came. Here comes Canada back the other way, looking to kill this double minor with a goal of their own. Sam O'Reilly coming through the middle. He gets cut off into the far side boards. O'Reilly battling there as this one's going to be picked up by Latvia. And this will be worked back inside the Canadian territory. Latvia back to the blue line. Far side dot. Now picked up at the high point. The shot loading. Doesn't come through traffic. This one will go back. Now the shot through. Blocked there by Ivan Kovic. Kicked it into the corner as this is the Latvian side continuing to roll along here for Canada as they continue to throw them around inside the zone. Latvia to the far side. Back to the high blue line. Far side again. Switch places. And the Latvian defender will fire a shot through traffic. Canada can't get the clear. They hit their own man and then hit the high point man for the Latvian side as this goes back to the blue line. That one will go out of the zone. Finally, Canada's killed and bucked 20 off of this power play so far. Latvia will fire it back into Canadian territory. Ivan Kovic near side. Picking it up now. Reshny sees it chipped out by the Canadians. And this will be back to the blue line on all the way deep right in front of the goaltender for Latvia. 2.5 minutes to go as Latvia loads up another opportunity through the middle of the ice, carrying forward on the power play across the line. It's chipped away there by Sam O'Reilly, who tries to head start himself going back the other way. Doesn't work there. Now picking it up. Latvia looking to get across the line to the far side. Latvia looking. Will try to spin back to the blue line. Instead, down low along the end wall there. Latvia along the far side boards. Back to the blue line now. Loading up the shot to the near side. Back to the blue line for the one-timer for Latvia. Denied, and Latvia again. Good puck retrieval. Another shot through traffic. Ivan Kovic gets it rolling there, and it's another clear for Canada with $1:49 to go here in the period. As this one back across to the far side, picking up Latvia. High point, near side with the puck. Rolling around the near sideboard still. Latvia goes towards the net. It bounces around a few times. Luchenko able to push it out, and he will shove it down the ice and go for a little bit of a skate here as Luchenko, with $1:20 to go in the power play, is able to load up a chance for Canada inside the Latvian zone. Here's Sam O'Reilly pushing towards the net. Big time save by Morins, and we will have a stoppage in play. As man, oh man, the Canadian penalty kill coming up with a big effort here. Is this one working now near inside that corner out in front of the net? Morins had to kind of fall on that puck against Sam O'Reilly. And man, great game so far for both Canada and Latvia. $1:13 to go here on the power play. Face off one back by Latvia. 21-13 the shots for Canada. Latvia will load up to the far side. Near side it comes. Latvia on the backhand is going to be denied there by the Canadian defense. Now Smits with the puck for Latvia fires the shot up over the shoulder of Ivan Kovic. Might have caught him in the mask, and it stays out as this one's going to come back the other way. And there you have it. Canada has killed off 320 of this power play here. Again, friends, I don't know what's going on in the chat, but just be respectful, man. Just be respectful. Don't be swearing. As we go, 30 seconds remaining here in the power play. It's going to be worked out by Canada down the ice, and it'll be picked up by the Latvian goaltender with 22 seconds remaining in the power play here. 6:13 to go in the second period. Osmanis across back to his blue liner as Latvia has generated pretty much not enough, I guess you could say, on this power play for 4 minutes for the high sticking double minor. And that will be the end of the power play for Latvia. Canada comes up with a huge kill here. And this one comes back near side. Latvia over the line. Looking towards the middle of the ice. Picking it up. Tija Ginla will be turned back. Zane Perek off the end wall. Aitchison looking to be battled there by a defender as this is picked up by Perek. Perek will gun up the middle of the ice. Perek across to the far side. Now with Porter Martone there. Martone sees Ginla go down low behind the net. Martone trying to circle around to help Ginla now. Is not going to be able to come up with that puck yet. And now he does. Dancing out of traffic. Martone forces it back. Near side corner for Ginla. Ginla off the end wall. Picking it up now Misa. Misa back to the blue line for Perek. Perek fires a shot through traffic that just bounces a couple times and dies on the way to the net as Aitchison here with the puck with 5 minutes to go here in this one. As this will be battled there, picking it up. Canada will fire across over to the near side. Latvia inside their own zone, able to get a clear breakaway at the blue line. Quickly swallowed up by Perek and Danford. And that was a great little recovery from the Canadian defense there with 4:45 to go in this second period to play. Misa picks it up, far side boards. Now picking it up in the middle. Latvia will fire the shot off the end wall. Battling now McKenna to the blue line. Fired down by Latvia to keep it inside the zone as McKenna with the turnover. The shot, the save by Ivan Kovic. Another turn away there as Kovic has now, well, Ivan Kovic with 16 saves so far. And a save there for Morins of Latvia. A save that will give us a break in the action. As I think I need to go eat something. I'm getting a little tired here. As this will be an opportunity for us to take a moment to tell you, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button here on the channel, make sure to do as such. Would love to have you aboard as a regular viewer on the channel. Again, friends, the Oilers, the Flames play at 8 p.m. That's the big show tonight, as Team Canada playing Latvia is not a huge draw by any means, but we are going to have ourselves a massive game here tonight. The Battle of Alberta, as things kick off for what should be an awesome game. Obviously, you get to watch some prospects right now, and then all of a sudden, yes indeed, Canada's big show, the Battle of Alberta, kicks off at 8 p.m. on Hockey Night in Canada. A big old game, which should be absolutely fantastic to watch. So, see how this goes. As hopefully Team Canada can figure out this final 4 minutes like they did last period against Latvia. All right, last period against Latvia was the last 4 minutes was the best 4 minutes for Canada in that period, so that's what we're hoping for here tonight in this second period action. We've come up on 4 o'clock, so it's already 6 p.m. Eastern time over in Ontario, so it's wild. And again, for Newfoundland, they're already at, what, 7:30? My goodness, those poor guys out there in Newfoundland. They like to party, but man, they gotta stay up late and party to be able to watch almost anything out west, don't they? 4:15 to go here in this second period play. 23-16 the shots on goal for the Canadians, as Latvia will lead up in their own zone to try and get out off the face-off win. And be worked back in behind the Latvian net. Morin so far 22 saves on 23 shots. Again, stymieing the Canadian attack, in Latvia within just 1 shot of tying this hockey game, as Carroll's back to Danford. Danford around to the near side, picking it up. Canada's going to strip the puck away, and here come Hayes and McKenna. McKenna with the puck. He will fire this one down low to Hayes. He gets knocked off that puck, and Carroll's will load up now for McKenna. McKenna with Hayes in behind the net. Hayes looking to get out from behind. Instead, McKenna takes over. McKenna back to the blue line. The shot loading for Carroll's through traffic. Rebound not available, as Morins with the save, and he will cover up with 3.5 minutes to go here in this one. As you love to see it. We've got to get this going. Niels Morins, obviously he's had himself, like I said, a great game so far, and he keeps it rolling. So, the score is available on either Sportsnet or TSN. That would be what I tell you right there. It's easy to find the old score on either of those two websites. Actually, Sportsnet just added a junior hockey section for this year's World Juniors, which usually doesn't happen, so that's semi-exciting in the world of sports. It's going to be picked up. 3:20 to go here in this second period of play. It's going to be fired into the neutral zone by Latvia. Luchenko will clear it back, and we're going to have an offside or a stoppage in play somewhere along the way on that one. With 3:15 remaining here in the second period, Canada leads 1-0. Shots 23-16. It's been a good game so far. Of course, Canada needs just a little bit more results here in this one to feel comfortable for this game. So, yeah. We need to get this going, as it's picked up by Canada off the face-off. Down the left wing, fired around to the near side boards. Coming now, Coots. Coots will battle. It'll be a big hit there along the wall that erases him. Now to the far side, Latvia trying to exit the zone. Reshny and Luchenko trying to keep it alive here. Fourth line grind time for Team Canada against the Latvians here to erase what is, well, the last 3 minutes of this second period. Reshny and Luchenko, as Luchenko finally fishes that one out. It'll be fired down by Brunic. Brunic to the far side, picking it up now. Battle back to the blue line. Brunic with the puck will get it over, and, well, that'll be McKenzie firing it in to the Latvian zone. Back along high point, Brunic takes over for Canada on the failed clearing attempt by Latvia. Picking it up, Martone. Martone with the puck will go back to the blue line. Over near side now, Brunic. Brunic down low to the near side for Iginla, who spins and fires. Save made by Morins. Now another shot from Misa. Goes up over top of the net. Nobody knew where that puck was. Everybody battling in front. The one-timer from Brunic. Blocked in front by Latvia, who has done a very good job tonight of blocking shots in front, as this will be down low behind the net. inside the Canadian territory. Of course, Latvia got the clear as no near side. The one-timer queued up by Latvia, flubbed up on. And that'll allow Latvia another opportunity to direct this one in the net. McKenzie just laid out to try and poke that one away. And with a $1:45 to go here in this second period of play, Canada starts out from behind their own net. The pass misses Martone. And it'll go end of the ice for an icing call inside to the Latvian zone for a face-off inside the Canadian zone. Epiphany, yes, the TSN does have the rights to broadcast the games, but Sportsnet, like I said, adding a junior hockey section. I don't know if just to broadcast their articles a little bit more or the scores, whatever. Is this a shot save made by Ivan Kovic off the face-off draw, the point shot for Latvia, as this will be worked back by Latvia down low along the near side boards. Canada trying to get this one cleared out of the zone with a minute and a half to go in the second period of play here, as it'll be Martone firing it along the end wall. Morens leaves it there for his helping hand, his assistant captain, number 23 of Latvia, who will fire it down the length of the ice trying to catch Canada sleeping, and that will be an icing call nonetheless, as Smits just couldn't quite get the handle on that shot down the ice with a $1:08 to go here in this second period of play. As Smits was trying to send somebody to go chasing after that puck, unfortunately nobody did for him, so it's an icing call against Latvia, and Canada will take an offensive zone face-off as Mikey V joins the chat. Love to see old Mikey V in the chat here. Zane Perek off the draw will have to give the puck back to the linesman and officially redo it here. Mikey V, you're going to be excited to see the old post-game text message once again, as this will be Haig in the face-off dot one more time for Canada here. Face-off down, one back by Latvia, one to the blue line and out as it eludes Perek, and now Latvia a little miniature 2-on-1. Third man's the trailer, and big time miss there, I guess, for Latvia. Didn't really see how that one went through, as this one will come back now near side for Martin across the Latvia line. Martin chasing in, the stick takes down the Canadian player. No tripping call on that play, I don't think, as the shot goes wide of the net, as the player had already lost sight of the stick before he went down. Is this one to the far side, knocked down there by Latvia. And this will be fired in by Latvia with 30 seconds to go here in this second period of play. 24-16 the shots on the clock in favor of Canada, is loading up one more time, looking to get going through the middle of the ice. Reed skating forward, he'll fire it around the boards. This one bouncing now as Latvia will bounce it along the wall. Nice play by Perek to keep Latvia inside the zone for the time being, trying to keep them away from rushing one more time down the ice. This will be picked up with 5 seconds to go, and that will run out the clock in the second period of play. As that is it. That is all for 2 periods of play. Canada leads Latvia 1-0 after 2 periods of play, friends. We'll be right back here on Dolly TV. Again, if you haven't already done that, hit that subscribe button here on the channel just below the live stream, and we'll get this going here for the third period upcoming. But first, the second intermission. All right, so Team Canada right there in the intermission saying Latvia is a good team, can't take it for granted out there, and that's going to have to be the message here in the third period upcoming. Latvia's given Canada all they can handle so far, and hopefully, not an epic collapse like last year for Canada, looking to avoid that. Obviously, Latvia got the better of them here in this tournament this day last year, so hopefully, like I'm saying, a better result, and we can all sit back and wipe our brows and sweat after this one victorious rather than, oh my goodness, how did we lose another one to Latvia. So friends, thank you so much for being aboard here today. I want to say it's been an absolute treasure to be back and pleasure to be back live for the World Juniors. It's been a great time to just sit back and relax and watch some hockey that really doesn't affect things for me all too much. I mean, end of the day, World Juniors is always fun and exciting, but at least it doesn't affect the Oilers positively or negatively too much overall. I know David Lewandowski is here, Asher Barnett is here, but at the end of the day, it's just kind of nice to watch the World Juniors keep going and ticking, and the Oilers aren't, praying for that hot shot on Team Canada or Team USA to be a new member of the team. So that's good news for us. Obviously that second period had some heated moments to it. Obviously the 5-minute major against the Latvian player, and then obviously as well, you had the situation with the high stick there by Danford, the double minor, which Canada. And I get that the World Juniors is a game of so many mistakes that it's who makes the last mistake loses. But that mistake there by Canada, throwing that high stick by Danford, was just, man, that's one of those you have to sit back and look at yourself and be like, what are we doing here? Because nowhere in there was there even a hockey play by Danford. He just swung the stick hoping to hit something. So that's where it's at. So yeah, hopefully tonight, Team Canada here in the next little bit can find a way to win this hockey game, because so far, like what he's saying, it hasn't exactly been the best effort out of Team Canada to possibly win a hockey game. So hopefully everything kind of finishes up here the way it needs to, as we've got ourselves, Hockey Night in Canada upcoming in about 40 minutes time. Hopefully Canada can find a way to get this job done here this evening. So we're waiting for this intermission to come to an end. But basically, I don't know how to put it. It's just kind of been another effort where against Latvia, again, I understand Latvia is a really good team, but just Canada comes out exploding in that first game against Czechia, leaves some other things to be desired out of their game. And, tonight just kind of, again, stymied by Latvian goaltending. And I really don't understand how every Canadian team over the past several years has really struggled against, Latvian goaltending. Anytime there's a big moment, it seems to be the case. And I know back a few years ago, Latvia got beat up 10-0, but that was a whole different case than what we got going on here today. So for Canada, I mean, time to show up and show out really in this third period, because you cannot afford to have a lackluster third period here against Latvia and go to overtime or shootout and lose this hockey game for a second year in a row on December 27th. So looking forward to seeing what happens here, friends. I'm going to take a quick break to step aside. Again, we're just closing in on the last 1,250 subscribers to go to 20,000. So definitely, if you want to come back for tonight's game, the Calgary Flames, the Edmonton Oilers, make sure to hit that subscribe button, of course, for Team Canada's next game on Monday. But for right now, I'm going to step aside, go grab a quick bite, and we'll be back for the rest of this second intermission. All right, snack mouth down. Let's do this, friends. The Oilers Flames, 8 p.m. tonight. But first, third period, Canada versus Latvia upcoming here on the channel as we wait to get things going for what will be a deciding period for the Canadian squad, in which has been a tough go for them so far against Latvia. And of course, for those of you that are wondering if I can show the live stream, I cannot due to copyright with the IIHF and TSN. Those guys are not really forgiving if you steal their material and post it on YouTube. So that's kind of where we are at as that's kind of where we're at right now with everything all said for Team Canada. And Latvia is a 1-0 game after 1 period of play, or 2 periods of play, sorry. Reshny from Gavin McKenna and Harrison Brunick have the goal, and that's really all there is to this hockey game thus far. As Team Canada in a dire situation here. Any Latvian fan that's sitting here saying, Canada's this or that, I'm like, well, we're probably not even going to win this hockey game right now, given the way that Canada's gone in the past few years of World Junior experience that I have, to tell me that Team Canada needs to score a ton of goals here in a hurry to try and make sure they don't get a bad situation against Latvia going here by the end of the game. So we'll see how this shakes out, obviously, as the third period gets set to get underway. Team Canada looking, like I said, for a few more goals, avoid the bad penalty like Danford took, and we should be able to survive going into this end of the game. So 25-18, the shots on goal for Team Canada after 2 periods of play. 11-7 in the first period, and then 14-11 in the second period. So just hopefully for Team Canada, they can find a way to start scoring some goals this period and just start piling them in the back of the net. 5-on-5, shorthanded, power play, I don't care. Team Canada needs goals to try and not avoid blowing this one against Latvia. Morin's one really good screen shot by Reshny is the only difference between him and having a perfect save percentage. So hopefully for Latvia, they don't find the back of the net here, and Canada can skate to a victory here in this one. So we'll see how this goes, but right now Dale Hunter looking, well, pretty confident, but also a little nervous on the bench. I don't know, just giving that regular old Dale Hunter look. There's not much really to analyze there. As we get set for the opening face-off of the third period between Canada and Latvia here, as this will be an opportunity for Canada, like I said, to really show what they're made of here at this year's tournament, score a bunch of goals, change the narrative. McKenzie off the draw, fired it in. Canada to the attack immediately. Latvia trying to hold back the Canadian attack, regroup the puck, and get going the other way. As here comes Latvia up the middle of the ice. They'll fire into the near side. To the far side, Brunick with the puck. Will battle there. Picking it up is Denoy. He'll have it for Canada here as he tries to get going through the middle of the ice. Across now for Baudouin. Baudouin down into the end wall for Canada. As that's a nice check there from Denoy, but that will not result in possession yet for Canada, as Latvia able to skirt it out into the neutral ice territory. Across the line, here's Latvia down the wing. The shot up off the arm of Ivan Kovic, and a big time save there for the Canadian goaltender that needed to come out of the gates and make some saves here in this third period as well. Didn't talk about that right before this period started, as Martone with the pass to the open wing. Perek with the shot. It is blocked by Latvia, who have been very good at blocking shots so far in this hockey game today. And now already a minute and 10 seconds gone in the third period of play. 25-18, the shots on net in favor of Canada. And they need to keep pounding shots and start scoring goals here, as Canada's going to be in some dire need of goal scoring before this period is up on over. As this one shot in by Aitchison. Around to the far side, picked up by Misa. Misa will see it worked past him by a Latvian defender and out into the neutral zone. Iginla can't come up with that puck, and now Latvia again content just to shoot it down into the Canadian zone. Ivan Kovic gets it into the middle of the ice, and here come now the Canadians across the blue line of Latvia, firing it down around the end wall. It'll be picked up by Latvia again. Fired up off the side wall there in front of the Latvian bench and across the Canadian blue line there. The shot for Latvia turned aside by Ivan Kovic, and it'll be back to the blue line now for Latvia. Ripping the shot on goal, and Ivan Kovic 2:10 into this third period. The save made and the stop with the gloves. So right now, the Canadian goal scoring burst here tonight that we were hoping for is looking, Art, I agree, unlikely. As Ivan Kovic, he's going to have to stand tall here in this third period of play, or Canada could be in trouble. As that was a good looking shot right up off the stick. So close to going past Ivan Kovic, just a fraction away. And Canada got another lucky save there, as this one's going to be won back by Carrolls. Carrolls will fire it along the wall, bounces out into the neutral zone. Latvia fires it up off the wall, and they get it into the Canadian zone before Brunic comes up with it. He'll chip it back out to the blue line, but a turnover there and a save made by Ivan Kovic drops it there for Brunic, who will try and clear the zone again, this time up through the middle towards the end of the rink, and that will be an icing call against Canada there with 17.5 minutes to go in this third period of play. Canada struggling here again today in this game just to get something going, same as they did a year ago against the Latvian side. Cole Reshney from Macklin, Saskatchewan, University of North Dakota NCAA, and 2025 first round draft pick of the Calgary Flames. So the Flames have another guy on this squad that I forgot about. Cole Reshney could be an absolute beauty for them, that's for sure. As this puck's going to be fired along the wall, Canada picks it up inside their own territory, promptly turn it over behind the net to Latvia. 17-18 to go in this third period as Latvia will fork it out back to the blue line. The shot, loading the shot through traffic, turned aside by Ivan Kovic, and then Canada again fires it down the length of the ice. That again will be an icing call, and all of a sudden Latvia pouring on the water on the Canadian side here, and things are not looking good. So this is possibly going to be a problem. And friends, again, I don't know why we're taking such an issue with the Canadian squad. We're up 1-0 here. And spew whatever BS you want about the Oilers, but again, these are just kids out here playing. Again, you wouldn't want anyone yelling at your kid like that. Just smarten up, alright? As this one's going to come back into the Canadian offensive zone, turned aside there by Latvia. Across now near side, picking it up. Canada inside their own territory, loading up Baudouin through the neutral zone. Baudouin across the blue line of Latvia, down the left wing. A shot fired towards the net, goes up and out of play. And this will be a stoppage with 16:37 to go here in this one. As I don't know what everyone's problem here in the chat is today, friends, but you got to figure it out quick. As, come on, we're better than this. That's really what it comes down to. We're better than this. 16:37 to go here in the third period of play. As we'll have face off inside the Latvian zone. Baudouin ready to take the face off against Polish. Now the official refs things up. And it'll be won back by Latvia to the far side boards. Picking it up backhand around the near side. Denoy with the puck. He'll fire it down low off the end wall. Back now to the blue line. The shot, the tip by Canada on towards the net from going very wide. But it ends up being okay as Latvia will be able to pick it up inside their own zone and clear back into the neutral. O'Reilly will fire into the far side corner. 16:10 to go here in this third period of play. This one fired around to the far side. Latvia still with the puck. They'll go in behind the netminder Morans. Morans still standing tall as their men try to fire out from behind the net does Latvia. Trying to find an open passing lane. Time winding down here on both sides. Latvia taking their time. Martone, the just pressure on them. And this one will come to the near side. Shot fired. Tipped inside the Canadian zone. Brunic with the pass over to the far side. Sorry, that's Danford actually. Danford with that. As this will be picked up by Danford around to the near side, loading up now with Ginland to the far side. Onside was Misa, didn't realize it. And that puck is forked out of the Latvia zone into the Canadian bench, I think, or into the first row. You know, look at that tip there, just missing the net for Baudouin. He did not realize until after he had grabbed hold of that puck just how close he was to getting it to the back of the net, that's for sure. So, good looking opportunity there for Canada. Turned aside by the missed net. And now, the offensive zone face-off inside Latvian territory. This is going to be turned around a few times, and Latvia ultimately to the far side in front of their own bench, able to get the clear out into the Canadian zone. Back in behind the net, this will be played by McKenzie along the wall, helped there by the other Canadian defender. To the near side, picking it up, McKenzie. Over to the far side for Brunick. Brunick will load up right onto the tape of Gavin McKenna. Here's a moment he needs to do something. In on net, a nice play by Hayes, but can't beat the goaltender Morans. And now Martin taken down in a heap there along the near side wall. The Latvian player looks to have gotten the worst of it. And McKenna just maybe a little bit out of gas here. Can't seem to get things going. This going back the other way. Now Latvia trying to turnstile the Canadians inside the near side corner of their own zone. McKenzie able to skate away with that puck. Coming back across the line. Latvia picking it up here. Near side inside their own territory as they'll start back to the Canadian zone. Smith's the shot. Up over top of the net, 26-24. The shot's now officially credited for Canada with a 1-0 lead. This one, just a great play by Hayes to get around the defender and fire that shot on net, but again, just could not solve the top corner of Morans off the elbow, basically, and out back into play it went. So Hayes just hoping to find net some point here. Chipping off a little bit of tape off his stick. A goal and 2 assists yesterday. As this one's going to be won back by the Latvians inside the Canadian zone. We'll redo the face-off by the looks of it with 14:24 to go here in this, the third period of play. So, of course, Hayes playing for the University of Michigan, the Montreal 21st overall draft pick in 2024. Face-off to the left of Ivan Kovic. Reshny out there for Canada taking the draw as it's scrambled up to the near side. Picked up by Perek behind the net. Reshny boots it out into Latvian territory, and then Latvia turns it over promptly to Canada. Coots the shot, directed up over top off another block shot for Latvia. And this one will be picked up now by Reed inside the neutral zone for Canada. Near side pass stolen away by Latvia. Coming back the other way. 1-on-4. The Latvian player will just be content to fire it down low inside the Canadian territory as this will be helped along by Canada to get it out of the zone now. Luchenko back into the neutral all the way into Latvian territory as they'll fire up, look for the pass through center ice. Not looking like a home run pass from the Oilers. Might bite Latvia here. Baudouin the shot, the save made by Morans, and then a little bit of pushing and shoving here along the end wall after behind the play. A Canadian player took down a Latvian into the end wall. Friends, we're going to have a stoppage and play in a quick bathroom break here on the channel. Again, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned. Make sure to do that. We'll be right back. Battle of Alberta coming up tonight. All right, let's get back to action, friends. Team Canada looking to take this one home against Latvia with just over a few minutes before the halfway mark of this one. We're going to see this one finish up, as this will come back now to the near side inside the Latvian zone off the face-off. Team Canada wins it cleanly after a little bit of work as Carroll fires it Danford off the end wall. Tap to the near side. Morans doesn't have the puck, and now Latvia is going to take exception to Canada digging at the goaltender. We'll have a little bit of chuck of Porter Mortone in front as he gets thrown down to the ice. As that was a good little opportunity for Canada, but Morans has done this very well so far tonight. Appreciate everybody tuning in and enjoying the live stream so far. I know it's been a little bit scrambly, but kind of par for the course when this is only game one of the day here, as the Oilers and the Flames coming up tonight, and I'm getting excited for that one, that's for sure. As Canada off the face-off draw wins it back to the blue line again. Along the end wall, Canada sees it come to the near side, and somebody chasing that down, looking for it there. Baudouin, I think, was able to manage to grab that puck along the boards and keep it in for Canada, as this will work into the near side corner. Latvia zone to the far side. It'll be worked out, and off the boots of Danford, a successful clear for the Latvians, as it'll be picked up now behind the net. Latvia inside their own zone after Canada threw it back in. O'Reilly's out there, the former Edmonton Oilers prospect for Canada, as it'll be picked up across the blue line, tipped in by Latvia. All the way on to Ivan Kovic's stick. He'll fire it around the near side again. Latvia is one shot away from tying this hockey game, as this one comes across the line. Baudouin in on net, as this one off the end wall. Battled there for O'Reilly. O'Reilly comes back to the near side, freeing it up. Baudouin around to the far side again, as that'll be Brunick keeping it alive for Canada. Still one more time. Brunick again gets it back. Now over to McKenzie. The one-timer from Denoise misses wide of the net just like that. Baudouin with the puck as this third line for Canada gets to work inside the Latvian zone. As this one battles in front. Shot save made there by Morans, and Latvia will lift out into the neutral zone. McKenzie coming back the other way. This one across now. Shot fired off the end of the net there, as it'll be McKenzie loading up one more time, looking for the backdoor one-timer Tij Ginla. And now Latvia had a clear breakaway, but it hit the back of the skater's skates. And now here comes Misa. It'll be turned back by Latvia again, and this one getting a little bit more scrambly here as we get towards the middle part of the period, as Latvia feeling the pressure to get into the offensive zone. Canada getting some zone time, and now this one freed up inside the Canadian zone. Picked up now Ginla looking for the pass over to Martone. Martone skating past the Latvian defender. Martone over to the corner looking to work this one free. He'll go back near side for Misa, who had to hop off his stick. It'll be freed up now by Latvia. Down the left wing, fired along the boards. It hops out of play along the netting, and we'll have a stoppage in play with 11:15 to go here in the third period. So, friends, welcome aboard. If you haven't already had the chance to hit that subscribe button, I highly encourage you to come back for the Battle of Alberta tonight. The easiest way to find that live stream, the easiest way to do that is hit that subscribe button. Closing in on 20,000 subscribers here on the channel. Big goal of mine, and we're looking like it's going to be likely here sometime, whether it be the end of this year or into 2026, early on January, February. Looks like it's going to happen, as this will be a face-off. One back by Team Canada. 11:11 on the clock. For those of you of the younger generation, make a wish or whatever you do with that number, as this will be picked up across the line. Reshny firing the shot. Morans the save, and then Reshny will go charging towards the net, and he'll be quickly escorted away from the net by the Latvians again, who have started taking exception to Canada getting right up in the goaltender's grill, that's for sure, as Team Canada's kind of made it known that they're going to try and operate in that space several times a game nowadays. And so far, friends, just taking a quick look at the live stream here, things are looking okay on my end, so we should be ready to rock and roll here for the last 10 minutes of this third period. As we've got 11:02 to go. This will be a face-off. Inside. Latvian territory as the face off to the far side. One back by Canada, drawn there, shot blocked by Latvia. Picking it up now, Latvia will fire inside the Canadian territory. Backhanded across behind the net there by Canada, picking it up, Brady Martin. Brady Martin up through the middle, looking for McKenna, couldn't get it freely, and Morans will just scoop it off to the near side, loading up the defense for Latvia to get the zone escape. This will be picked up by Reed on the clear by Latvia. And now Canada starts back inside the Latvian territory. Martin leaves it there for McKenna. The shot save made by Morans. And then Martin goes in poking there, and he'll get turfed by the Latvians. And the officials are looking, look, dude, you got that on yourself. So that is what it is. And I doubt that Latvia is going to take a penalty here for that play. Again, nor should they. Brady Martin goes poking at the goaltender and gets sent. So just kind of what it is. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. As Chris, you can watch the Battle of Ontario tonight, and then the next game after that is the Battle of Alberta. Just saying. You don't have to miss the Battle of Alberta because of the Battle of Ontario. Although the Latvian player did cross-check Martin in the mouth, but still, I would still say that Martin deserved that for the extra poke after the whistle of the goaltender. So I really don't think it's should be penalized, nor will it be, by the looks of it here. The Latvian captain talking things over as that player, as Brady Martin's teeth look intact. So that's all good there with 29-24, the shots on net for Canada. They piled up some shots here quite well. So you're getting rolling. Brady Martin still giving the referees a little bit of his business for what he thinks should be a penalty. But again, you know, poking at the goaltender, somebody's going to come clear you out sooner or later. This one back off the draw by Latvia. 10:25 to go in the third period. Face off is able to escape the zone for Latvia. A good clear there, and they will control the entry into Canadian territory with a dump and chase effect. As this will battle along the end wall, Latvia trying to be the first ones to this puck as it bounces around a few times. This will be worked out there and down the ice, and an icing call against Canada with 10:04 to go here in this third period of play. So Canada obviously cannot get frustrated here with no call on that play, because again, you got to just smart yourself up a little bit here and realize that, again, you don't go poking at the goaltender without consequence. As here we go, face off to the right of Ivan Kovac. Latvia is able to win the draw. 10:00 on the clock exactly, sorry. As this one, back to the blue line. The shot fired towards the net, blocked there. Over now, behind the net. Latvia back to the blue line here. Turned back there. Denoise will fire it into the middle of the ice. And Latvia will turn back Canada at their own blue line. This one, working into Latvian territory. 22 seconds gone in the final 10 minutes of this, the third period. Latvia still yet to really generate anything dangerous over the last few minutes, but they'll try and do it now on a turnover inside the near side corner of the Canadian zone. Misa skating away with the puck on a turnover by Latvia high zone. Misa to the backhand, trying to force it in front for Brunic, couldn't get it through. Martone not there along the end wall, and that allows Latvia the clear out of the zone. Youthens, who I believe was the one that took that high stick from Danford out there right now. It'll be chipped up to the Latvian blue line. Canada comes away with the puck. Iginla along the near side wall. Iginla towards the net. Shot fired. Save made by Morans. And then Martone goes flying into Morans. And Canada is just asking, just antagonizing right now Latvia into doing something dumb. Because there is going to be some rough stuff yet. So we continue to wait and watch. Friends, welcome aboard to Dolany TV. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, definitely would encourage you to do that here tonight on the channel. The Battle of Alberta, like I'm saying, coming up here shortly as 8 o'clock puck drop. So we'll be live about what, 7:50, 7:45 I guess would be when we'll hit the live button. Probably about 7:50 actually here on Dolany TV tonight. So thank you to everybody for tuning in so far this evening. We're up over 75 likes. We're actually almost to 85. So wasn't expecting that here today. So appreciate the heck out of that as we continue to trend towards the end of this hockey game. Canada clinging to the 1-0 lead over top of Latvia here in today's game. Latvia doing a good job, obviously keeping Canada right where they are. Now the late game push is surely coming from Latvia at some point in this one. We'll wait and see when it comes, but it ought to be coming soon, so stay tuned. As this one, we'll have a highlight here of Gavin McKenna's mom. As this will be, sorry, quad again. Guys, gotta figure it out here. All right, here we go. Face off inside the Latvia zone for Canada. They are able to win it back to Perek. Perek, the shot fired through traffic. Rebound in front, turned aside by Latvia. 8:50 to go in this third period of play. Canada turns it back. Perek at the blue line. Reed now over near side. Gavin McKenna across the blue line. He'll get it now for for Haig. And that'll be a play by Perek that doesn't really equal much. Martin throws a big hit. It does really have that Zach Hyman effect on this line, doesn't he? As this will be Gavin McKenna leading forward for Hayes. Hayes across the line, looking over far side for Perek. Perek sees it turned back by Gavin McKenna at the blue line as Latvia had tried to start away with it. 8:18 to go in this third period of play. Latvia picking it up here inside their own zone, trying to start out near the near side boards, blue line area. Canada turns it back for a brief moment, but Latvia gets the better of it inside the Canadian zone. Latvia from behind the net. This will be worked off the end wall. Picking it up now is Luchenko for Canada. Luchenko along the near side wall is taken down. This one will go around to the far side. Coots trying to battle this one free as Luchenko couldn't manage that one in the neutral zone, and that'll be Canada firing it back inside Latvian territory. They meet it on the far side boards. Canada crashing hard along the wall. Luchenko again an active stick there. Freed up the puck briefly, but Coots unable to do it. Instead just delivers a hit in here now. A pass there from Coots looking for Reshny, who has the goal for Canada. Couldn't quite connect, and Coots on a good keep by McKenzie near the blue line area just fires it into Latvian territory, and another minute gone. 7:15 to go here in this third period of play. Latvia signaling what they want done here as they come out from behind their own net, trying to coach the play here from behind the net. With 7 minutes exactly left in the third period, 32-24 the shots for Canada now. As across the line, Latvia in on the attack, turned back by Canada once more, as both teams really not giving it an inch out here in the second and third periods. It feels like is really the two penalties were the most prime chances for either team in this hockey game so far. Canada denied at the blue line there by Latvia. Fire it back in. Latvia rims it around to the near side boards. Cut off there by Carrolls. He'll have his shot blocked, and then Canada, a nice smart poke check there, keeps Latvia inside their own zone. 6:30 to go here in this third period of play, as this one's going to be freed up to the near side blue line for Latvia. They cross center ice area into the Canadian zone, turned there by Canada, and now a blue line play, a turnover to Smiths, and now Canada might have an opportunity as Martone gets the better of Smiths on that play and trying to get free to Misa is Martone. Instead, Martone's going to be swallowed up by the Latvian defense, who got back in a hurry in support of Smiths. And now here an opportunity for Iginla on another turnover over to Martone, who can't do anything with that puck. And Misa will go back to the high point. Perek, the shot up off of the shoulder of Morins. And Latvia, again, another key save from their netminder, who's made 30 plus so far tonight. And an icing call with 5:41 to go here in this one for the Canadians and Latvians. As Perek fired a heck of a shot there, went through traffic on the tip, I believe, of Iginla, and just could not find the back of the net. Is this one looking like it's going to come down to the absolute wire here between Canada and Latvia. As both teams still battling out there, and a big hit there on, I think, Howdens is how you say that. It's off the face-off as the top line sets the table. This is going to be a good opportunity now for the second line to get going for Canada. McKenna sees it going back to the blue line. Brunic keeps it onside. Latvia guns it around to the far side boards. They are going to be able to escape the zone here against Canada, and that'll allow them to get all the way back down into Canadian territory here with 5:18 to go in the third period of play. Brunic carrying up forward for Canada. Across to the far side, firing the shot around to the near side. Latvia will lift out into the neutral zone. 5:05 to go. Time continues to wind down here, as this one is going to be tipped off the stick of Latvia. They keep it onside inside Canadian territory. That'll be knocked back by McKenzie. Now across the line, here's an opportunity for Hayes to the far side. The shot loading off the post. Martin cannot believe it. Team Canada again within an eyelash of taking a 2-0 lead. Another shot. And that one goes wide there from Martin, or hit Martins on the far side, as McKenna trying to skate open with the puck here is taken down in the crease, or a Canadian player and a Latvian player is Reed with the puck. He'll leave it there for Perek. Perek to the far side, skates to the outside and fires a shot up off the shoulder of Morans. The puck falls. Canada is absolutely firing on all cylinders here on this second line shift, and Latvia will be content to take a face off, and I think something happened here inside the Latvian zone. We'll have a whistle on the play and a stoppage, as the bar denies Canada for at least a second time this hockey game. Crazy go here. Friends, if you haven't already, like I said, I'm hitting this hard here during the World Juniors simply because this is the big live stage when it comes to live streaming this time of year. If you're new, I want you to consider hitting that subscribe button. Stay tuned here on Dolany TV for the Battle of Alberta, but also more World Juniors live streams upcoming as the tradition continues into the new year. We look forward to seeing how things shake out for Team Canada. Right now, it's all about defending this lead, trying to score another one, and ultimately trying to win this hockey game. If your Team Canada is, there's a little bit of pride on the line here against Latvia at this very moment. They need to finish this, and they need to win this one here. Latvia, again, I don't know why anyone would be upset that Canada's only up 1-0 here, because Latvia, the goaltending is always really good. And on the side note of that as well, Canada has had some really tight games the last few years against Latvia, so they're not your grandpa's Latvia, I guess to say. As this one, just beautiful opportunity there, off the bar, tough go. As this one ultimately is going to come down in the last 5 minutes of play. Both teams engaged in battle in front of the net. Martin and the Latvian player, and the Latvian netminder has gotten both whistles for both times he's been hitting the mask. Really not sure if that's an IIHF rule or what. 4:13 to go here in this third period of play. Puck in behind the net. Latvia has it stolen away by Canada. The shot, the jam from Tijik Inla comes up fruitless, as that was a good opportunity for him. And this will be an opportunity for Latvia to clear the zone here. Near side. Picking up Aitchison will carry forward. 3:50 to go here in this third period of play. Like I said, I'm preaching the positivity, but this is where the nerves start hitting me a little bit hard. As Canada battling along that wall, it'll be picked up by Latvia. They'll come back the other way. Latvia across the line will chip and charge into the Canadian zone. Back to defend it is Danford, taking pressure from the Latvian attack. Dilveka had came down out of the blue line area all the way down along the end wall to try and pressure Danford, who's already taken a tough penalty earlier on in this game. Shot towards the net, turned aside by Ivan Kovac. The shot again comes from the outside from Latvia. It goes wide of the net, and then a reloaded opportunity towards the slot is turned aside by a good defense of Team Canada. And now with 3 minutes to go here in the third period of play, Canada just has to avoid taking that dumb penalty inside the last 3 minutes. This one looking to get across the line. Latvia is turned back by Canada once more. Missed connection on that pass, as this one will be near side. Back behind the net to the far side boards, picking it up, Perek. Loading up now, Reed with the puck. He will go in behind the net for the noise. 2.5 minutes to go here in the third period of play, as this will be rolled up into the middle of the ice by Latvia. Picking it up now, an opportunity for O'Reilly, the shot towards the net, save made with 2:20 to go here in this third period of play. Canada, Latvia coming down to the wire. The nerves, trust me, my heartbeat's just trying to stay calm right now. Because I don't know how this one's going to play out, nor do I think I want to if Canada takes a penalty here. So we remain to see. Things continue on here. As this one will come to the right of Morans, the Latvian netminder. 1-0 Canada leads, 35 shots on net, 25 for Latvia so far. Ivan Kovic, that's as far as we'll go with that. It's the face-off now for Hayes, the second line of Canada, looking to finish this thing right here. This one will come up off the draw. We will have a stoppage in play as Gavin McKenna and the boys will be turned back here. Canada, Latvia, coming down to the last few moments. I thought for sure once Canada got one on that power play, they were going to get more. That is not the case. Canada will reload this power play. Well, not this power play, sorry, this 5-on-5 attempt, this face-off here one more time. Shot towards the net, directed away by Morans. 2:16 to go in the third period of play. Puck is bounced into the neutral zone. Back now inside Canadian territory. Brunick with the puck over to Carrolls. Carrolls gets it to Gavin McKenna. This will be worked back to the blue line. Here's Latvia far side, loading up the shot through traffic. Rebound in front. Latvia scores. You knew it was coming. You could feel it all game. And Latvia has scored to tie the game at 1-1. Wow. That's a tough go. And now they're saying there might be a kick on this one. They're saying there might be a kick on this one. Are you kidding me? He kicked it off his own stick. Okay, what a play there for the Latvian player. Wow. Here we go, friends. Canada, Latvia, probably about to head to overtime for a second year straight. I mean, again, that Gord Miller saying, can you believe it? Oh boy, here we go. This is absolutely insane that the fact that Canada, I mean, all they had to do is just stay away from their own end the rest of the game, which they had been doing a pretty good job of in this, with the third period, and Latvia's goaltender celebrates hard. Morans has had himself one heck of a night, and his team rewards him for it with a goal late in this hockey game. The old Latvian fan there in the stands, absolutely happy. He's going to send a text message about that. And now, can Canada in the next $1.58 score a goal to prevent overtime? I don't know. This one will be worked now for Latvia. They'll fire it into the Canadian zone. Ivan Kovic leads it down there for Perek, and the Canadian squad now has to come up with a big effort here in this hockey game's final 2 minutes. $1:44 to go here in the third period of play as Reed with it inside his own territory, bounces it to the near side. Misa with the puck will fire it up the middle of the ice. It'll go back behind the net. 36-27 the shots on goal for Canada, as this one's going to be lifted up into the neutral ice territory all the way back. Reed fires it wildly towards his own blue line. This will be worked by Latvia on the recovery back into their own zone. $1:18 to go as we will look like we might have overtime here. Hopefully not, but here's Misa trying to play this one back. Canada loading up the attack. Perek over to the far side, loading up the one-timer. Pass over to Reed. Reed will bounce this one down. A glove hand pass. Leave it there for Latvia, who is going to force Canada to touch it. And we'll have a stoppage with 58.8 seconds to go in the hockey game. Just the absolute, you knew Canada did not have it in them to defend a 1-0 lead. They just, for the life of them, crossbars, posts, saves by Morans, could not get the 2-0 lead. And ultimately Latvia, as they so often traditionally do, come back in the last minute here with a big time goal to make it 1-1. So now Canada versus Latvia comes down to the final 58.8 seconds of regulation and whatever else may lay beyond that. The third line for Canada with the puck here to the right of Morans for a face-off. Latvia inside their own zone. This one will be a face-off, one back. O'Reilly to the far side. The shot through traffic is denied there by Latvia. Latvia will lift out and out of play, and Canada's saying it was puck over glass. And did Latvia just give Canada their one last gasp at air? Abels and the bench for Latvia yelling that it went off the glass, but possibly here. Yes, indeed, the Latvian player is headed to the box with 51.2 seconds to go. Canada, at worst, will have overtime power play, if not power play right now, to win the hockey game. 36-27, the shots on goal. And the Latvian player threw it right up, to play over the glass into the behind the bench area. That is a tough penalty to take right then and there as that puck goes sailing out of play. And now, can Latvia hold on against the Canadian attack with a few moments to go in the third period of play? 51 seconds to go. Gavin McKenna needed to do more with that last play that ended up in the Canadian net. Now on the ice, can he find... he's on the ice. Can he find a way to get this job done on the power play for Canada against Latvia late? Here's Parekh. Parekh loading up. He will skate through the center ice area, drop back to Gavin McKenna across the line. McKenna in on the attack. Over to Reshny. Reshny back to McKenna now. McKenna with the puck over to Parekh on the far side blue line. Parekh down low now for Reshny. Reshny skates back, high point. He's got options in Parekh, high point as well. Parekh skates it to the far side. The shot through traffic, drifts off a body and out of play with 18.1 seconds to go in this third period of play. You thought we were nervous now, or then. Think about now. As Team Canada tries not to blow tonight's hockey game with a $1.27 to go on the power play, but only 18 and a tick remaining in regulation. Friends, if you haven't already considered hitting that subscribe button, this is why. The World Juniors are a great time, and tonight's Battle of Alberta will be just as good of a time. I make sure to tell you right now, hit that subscribe button. Let's do this. Face off to the left of Morans for Latvia. We'll redo the face off one more time as a couple of players from each side got antsy here. Face off one back. Shot from Parekh, blocked in front by Latvia. Kept on side by Parekh last second. Now loading up, one more chance. Luchenko over to Parekh. Parekh looking through traffic. It's going to be dodgy there from Misa. Misa the shot towards the net. Bailing for it was the Latvian defender twice over. Time will run out in the third period of play, in Canada will once again be forced to go to overtime against Latvia. You have got to be kidding me. What dramatics there to end this third period, and Parekh with a keep of the century here, keeping that puck barely on line, floating it along that blue line just ever so slightly. And I believe we go to 3-on-3 overtime here for Canada and Latvia as we go into the overtime frame now in what has been a heck of a hockey game so far between these two teams. But now, can we see Canada win it on the 4-on-3 power play, as obviously Latvia will be shorthanded still in this one, as we will head to overtime again here in the end of regulation. One last commercial break. Again, friends, like I'm saying, Battle of Alberta tonight. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Click to get your notifications. I want you back here for what will be another drama-filled hockey game here on Dolly TV. And plus, I want you back here to listen to me talk about the Oilers all season long. We're going to have a lot of playoff overtime to get to once we get to April, May, and June for the Edmonton Oilers as well. So we're going to look forward to what will be an exciting finish to the World Juniors, an exciting Olympics, an exciting playoff run for the Edmonton Oilers. 2026 is going to have a lot of fun hockey for us for sure. So that's where we're looking to see things shake out here on this one. So, oh boy, hoping to get to the end of overtime with a victory in hand. Don't go to a shootout. Don't lose to Latvia. We'll see how this one goes from here on out. So, again, I don't understand why people are that way, but it just kind of is what it is. As we go onward and upward towards Canada, trying to win this one here today against Latvia. End of the third period. We got ourselves a 1-1 hockey game. Latvia in the last 2 minutes of the game, tying the hockey game and getting the job done against a Canadian squad that just could not close it out at all. And, well, now we have to see if Canada can get the job done here in this overtime frame. Just waiting for this one to get back underway, friends. Thank you for being aboard here for the live stream. Appreciate you hanging out and obviously being a part of what has been a great live stream thus far. As Latvia obviously doing their job, getting the job done in the last few minutes of the game. 5 minutes followed by a shootout. Then of course the quarterfinals, semifinals, and bronze medal game are 10 minutes followed by a shootout, and then 20-minute periods until winning time is done in that. So here we go. We are going to see what happens here. Latvia cheering on things from the box. We'll see how this goes. Face off at center ice. Canada's got 4 attackers. Latvia only 1. So that's what you need to know here is the chance for Hage at the face-off dot. Sorry, I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. Canada 4, Latvia only 3. Pardon me. Let's do this. Face-off. 1 back by Canada. Perek over to the far side. Now loading up the opportunity for Hage across the blue line. So it's Perek, Hage, and Brady Martin out there alongside Gavin McKenna. McKenna loading back for Perek. The shot queued up by Hage. Can't get that one through. This will be picked up now by Brady Martin behind the net. Picking it up. Hage looking towards. Perek over to the far side. McKenna skating towards. Looking for the back door on Morans. Can't find it. Canada still going to the backdoor play. And Morans with a big time save there. Martin crashing in the crease there again. As the 5-minute overtime gets up and underway. 33 seconds gone. And Brady Martin had that puck flip up on him. As that one just a bounce that didn't buy his way. And then Morans the big save there as Martin had it flip up. And with 4:27 to go, Morans was able to cover up that puck. As that was a big time chance as Martin gets taken down by the Latvian defender in the crease area. 4:27 to go, 36-27 the shots. Canada wins the face-off. Here's Perek. Perek over near side for Martin. Back to the blue line for Perek. Over to Martin. The pass in front goes to McKenna off a deflection. Martin, the one-timer, scores! Canada takes home the victory in overtime, beating Latvia by a score of 2-1. And just like that, you knew it had to come at some point, that second goal for Canada. Thankfully, it comes in overtime, in the time it was most needed to win the hockey game and get the job done. Morans beat a great effort by Canada to get the job done here late after giving up the tying goal late. And Canada and Latvia, another classic this time. Canada in the extra time, able to come away with it a year to the date that Latvia upset Canada in the shootout 3-2. What an effort there. What a goal from Canada and what a controlled play there. Morans, he did all he could do in this game. Canada wins the game in overtime as Perek fires it. McKenna had recovered back over to Martin. And there is, Hage with the goal. Sorry, again, I continue to confuse those numbers. And it was Reshny actually in front. So Hage fires the shot over back of the net. And yes, indeed. So it's Mr. Michael Hage that finds the back of the net from Gavin McKenna. McKenna now up to 4 assists on the tournament. And Hage continues his point scoring streak as well. So there you have it. Canada finds the back of the net to win today's game, friends. 2-1 in overtime over top of Latvia. It's Cole Reshny on the power play earlier on in the game from Gavin McKenna and Harrison Brunick. And then Rudolfs Burzkolns gets the goal for Latvia with less than 2 minutes to go to ultimately tie the game. Michael Hage finds the back of the net in overtime to win it for Team Latvia. And there you have it, friends. That will do it for another live stream here on Dolany TV. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, make sure to do that here tonight before the Battle of Alberta gets underway. The Oilers, the Flames, 8 p.m. right back here on Dolany TV. Look forward to having you along for the ride. Thanks for tuning in today. I will catch you guys in the next one. The Latvian goaltender, hats off to him. Team Canada at least gets the job done here against Latvia That'll do it. A 2-1 final. Thanks for being aboard. I am up on out of here.